try to win tomorrow to hold on to that spot. Instead of resting, which is something that I am generally quite in favor of. In worlds where you could rest in the last week of the season and get the first round bye, I'd say do it. In the preseason, I would play the guys less than Andy Reid wants to. That's more of a new school line of thinking, I think. But I would just live in a bit of fear of, oh God, what if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt in a meaningless game? That's where I lean. In saying that, I still think this game is relatively important. Because the Titans are the 1 seed. They only have to win one game to ultimately host the AFC Championship game. But in the divisional round, tell me you couldn't see the Titans losing in Tennessee to the Chargers, Colts, Patriots, the Bills, even the Bengals. Like, that's pretty much the whole field. And they would obviously play the lowest seeded team. So, depending on who would ultimately advance, if all the division winners all won, it could be any of those teams. They end up going to Tennessee. It wouldn't be the Chiefs, obviously, because the Chiefs are definitely hosting the divisional round game if they win the wild card game. That also is really important here. But if the Titans were to lose in the divisional round against one of those teams who I think are all really close together, whoever wins that game will probably win it by a bounce or a play or a drop and not by 15. But if the Titans lose that game, the 2 seed now is hosting the AFC Championship game if they were to get there. You want to be the 2 seed, and the Chiefs could have a chance to, once a bleeping again, host the AFC Championship game. In an annual event, that is still on the table if the Titans lose in the playoffs. So that's one element of it. The other element of it is that if you are the 2 seed, like I just said, you're guaranteed to host your divisional round game if you win the wild card game, obviously. And I would much rather the Chiefs get to host the Bengals or the Bills or the Patriots or the Colts. I guess it wouldn't be the Colts or the Chargers because those two teams would, as it stands right now, would be lower seeds and would either play the Titans or be eliminated in the first round. But there's a lot of moving around, so I'm going to include teams that are not currently in line in these matchups just for the sake of noting that there's a lot that could change this weekend in terms of little seeding movements. But I would much rather see the Chiefs win one of those games or play one of those games at Arrowhead, even if it ultimately leads to their third postseason game going to Tennessee. Because I think the Chiefs could win that game too. Now, I think they could lose at home to the Chargers in the wild card round. I think that is eminently plausible because we have seen that those two teams are pretty evenly matched. Also, for the sake of the 2 seed, you hope that it gives you the worst of the teams in the wild card round. Now, if it ends up being the Chargers that the Chiefs have to face in the first round, even though they win as the 2 seed, that's unfortunate. I would rather them play, I think, anyone else in that category. Because, again, they can't play the Titans or the Bengals, right? Or the winner of the AFC East, which could be the Bills, could be the Patriots. It's a little convoluted, and there's a lot going on there. But ultimately, if you don't want to get any more into the weeds and into the percentages and all of that, ultimately I'm at a place where I hope the Chiefs stomp their foot on the gas as quickly as possible, and for once I would be fine with them largely throttling it way back for the sake of beginning to rest their stars. You want to win this game and secure your 2 seed. Because also, again, the Chiefs are playing the first game of this week. There's no Thursday Night Football, and there are only 2 games on Saturday. Cowboys-Eagles will go afterwards. So the Chiefs are playing the first game of this weekend. They don't get to wait around on anything, which is unfortunate. And would have been nice to. It'd be nice to be the Sunday Night Football game this week, which is what the Chargers and Raiders are. Because at least then you would have everything else figured out. You know, hey, we win and we're the X seed and we play this team, or we lose, we're the Y seed and we play this team. But the Chiefs have I would say, a mild competitive disadvantage being forced to play a day early that could turn into an advantage preparing for the wild card round if they do in fact stick outside of the 1 seed and ultimately get an extra day to prepare for whoever they would go up against next, or at least an extra day to rest Could be 2 days if they end up on Monday Night Football, by the way. The wild card Monday Night Football game is the thing. So keep an ear out for that.
Which I totally forgot about.
I did too until somebody mentioned it to me earlier today.
I don't know if I want the Chiefs to play the Monday night game.
I'm conflicted.
I'm a little conflicted.
It's also it's an extra day to prep for it, but it's one less day to get ready for the divisional round.
I was just thinking more about me personally. And,
And it would be a night game.
Life.
We would be here until like 1 a.m.
Have the whole weekend off.
Knock on wood. It's interesting, though. Because, again, this and honestly, I think there's a lot of this throughout Week 18, but there's some light preseason game vibes throughout just like this whole schedule. Because Sunday Night Football is basically a playoff game. Barring a Jags win and then a tie, the Raiders and Chargers will most likely be playing for one playoff spot. Now, I think they could both get in with a loss, depending on things. We'll know that by Sunday night, because that's the last game of the weekend. And that game should be a lot of fun. But Dallas and Philadelphia is a little bit interesting tomorrow, which we'll have here on Sports Radio 810, WHB, by the way. We'll get you the second half, probably, depending on how postgame goes. And that game's kind of interesting, but they're both in the playoffs already. Like, those are two good teams that I'd like to see play each other, but they're playing for seeding. Now, again, because they're the Saturday game, maybe they put a little bit more out there. I'm not sure. But the Bengals aren't playing Joe Burrow, probably most of their starters. It sounds like they might put Jamar Chase out there to grab a couple of rookie receiving records, which is fun. But it doesn't seem like they are hell-bent on trying to go grab the 2 seed from the Chiefs, which, again, maybe they'd regret that if the Chiefs do lose against the Broncos or something. But also, they're going up against Baker Mayfield-less Cleveland, which I'm not sure makes them worse, considering his shoulder's completely effed up.
Certainly not better.
Probably. I mean, it can't. It's all bad.
Yeah.
It's
Cleveland,
all bad.
It's been bad in Cleveland this year.
And then you get
COVID hit them. Like, COVID's been a thing for every team, but especially for Cleveland, it hit them hard.
And I actually think that we might have gone too far on Baker Mayfield because he has spent most of the season playing with essentially a broken shoulder, which is a crazy thing to say about a quarterback. It's a non-throwing shoulder, but still, are you kidding me? Like,
you ever just done a throwing motion? You move your other shoulder a lot. It may not. I'm sure it is less painful than if it was his throwing shoulder. Obviously, it's still incredibly painful to throw a football.
Much less.
Let alone have T.J. Watt hit you 3 times.
Yes.
T.J. Watt was murdering him in that last game. I felt so bad for Baker.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have been out there. By the way, the line in that game is 37.5 over under. Not predicting a lot of offense.
No, who are the quarterbacks? Brian Hoyer, I think, might be. Is he the backup in Cleveland?
I think it's Case Keenum still.
Oh, Case Keenum. I forgot about Case.
Brandon Allen, I think, came out and spiked the ball and kneeled down a couple.
Kyle Allen. Or is it Brandon Allen? Which Allen is it? One of the Allens is in Washington. I think it's Brandon Allen.
I think it's Brandon.
Because Kyle Allen's
Allen.
Because Kyle Allen's a Ron Rivera guy. Because he was with them in Carolina.
So I think we're going to get Brandon Allen versus Case Keenum in that game. Then could I interest you in Packers-Lions, Bears-Vikings, Washington versus the Giants.
Aaron Rodgers did say he was going to play in that game, unlike the Super Bowl, obviously.
We can't tease that way because we're going to have to clarify that so quickly. Colts-Jags. That game would matter if it's close or interesting, but Steelers-Ravens are a couple of beaten teams. There's still no Lamar Jackson. Neither team really has a quarterback. That's not fair. To Huntley?
Tyler Huntley, yeah.
Huntley. I always want to make it the T a D, I think. Anyhow.
You're thinking of Brett Hundley.
That might also be it.
Former Packers quarterback. I don't know where he's at now. He was drafted out of UCLA.
Well, there's also Trace McSorley.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know why that is my my hang up on the Ravens backup quarterback situation, but it seems to be. Titans, Texans, Saints, Falcons, Jets, Bills, Niners, Rams. Winning teams there, I guess. Pats, Dolphins, Seahawks, Cardinals, Panthers, Buccaneers, and then you get Chargers, Raiders. This doesn't feel like a resounding win from an NFL scheduling perspective. It does feel a little bit like they took the fourth preseason game and just moved it to the end of the year. Which, like, on some level, for like a team and an evaluation process, is kind of interesting. But it's like, hey, we're going to give you, 13 preseason games, a kind of meh regular season game, and then a playoff game. It's like, well, I guess that's better than... I guess that's better than just more preseason. I guess.
It's also just weird, even just strictly from a Chiefs point of view, because this is a game that very much matters. In theory, the Chiefs could drop all the way to the 4 seed, which is bad.
Yeah.
But it feels like a game that does not matter.
Right.
At all. Like I keep feeling like going to this game like the Chiefs have nothing to play for. But again, they have a lot to play for, because I'm not a huge believer in Tennessee. And I know Derrick Henry might be coming back. It doesn't change a ton for me, and some of that is the position. Also, some of that is is Derrick Henry going to be the unicorn that he was earlier in the year, right? Even if you were the most
think about the most muscular unicorn you could think of, just a jacked unicorn. Even
if you're trying to be he might be the one running back in today's NFL that really moves the needle some. Is he going to be that guy? Because I have a hard time seeing that. I think Tennessee's probably going to lose before the AFC Championship game. And so whoever is at 2 seed is hosting the AFC Championship game. So getting the 2 seed is huge. It also feels like the Chiefs have literally nothing to play for. It's a weird week. It's just very weird.
I completely agree with all that, so I'm going to focus on the part of that that's most interesting to me personally, which is there a name for a centaur with a unicorn horn? Like a unicentaur? Say that again?
Sitcorn.
Centauricorn? Is that anything? That sounds fantastical. But Derrick Henry is a unicorn centaur. For sure. Maybe a minotaur. With the also a unicorn. Instead of 2 big horns on the side, just the one horn sticking out the front. Wow, okay, hold on, Rudy. Stick with me on this one. But you know how Derrick Henry has a very distinctive, big braid hairstyle?
Yeah.
What if that's to cover up his unicorn horn?
Ooh.
His just comes out the back of his head.
His through the back.
But then he's like, I gotta hide this so no one asks why I have this unicorn horn so I can go on and play football. And he was like, you know what? I got it. Stealth.
Lil Uzi Vert's gonna have a horn in his head one day.
That diamond came out, right? That didn't last very long.
Yeah. He took that out. He'll put a diamond horn in his head one day. Just wait.
Following up on a story we were obsessed with a while back, Lil Uzi Vert says the $24 million pink diamond that was implanted into his forehead was ripped out by fans. What? No.
That can't be true.
Lil Uzi Vert told TMZ that fans ripped off the valuable pink diamond implanted into his forehead. The incident happened while he was performing at Rolling Loud Miami 2021. I think we covered this at the time, but you absolutely cannot put a diamond in your forehead if somebody else can just pull it out.
Rip it out, yeah.
That's
going to be the first thing you check off. Can somebody just rip this off my head? Yes, they can. Okay, we're not putting it on there then.
You've either got to do something, I guess, with
you could just
your skull or just wear a headband.
Wear a welder's mask at all times. Keep protected.
V. Stiviano sort of situation.
Yeah.
How wild is it that we're going to remember her name forever?
Forever.
She was Donald Sterling's silly rabbit. You may or may not remember. Tricks are for
affluent white people. Affluent white people.
You said it so many times, so many different ways, my brain stops working for a second.
It happens. Tricks are for rich white people.
The rapper unveiled the new look in February and said that the pink rock is 10, almost 11 carats, while also the most expensive purchase he's ever made. Come on, man. He then explained that the only reason the $24 million accessory was put in his forehead was that he couldn't trust himself not to lose it. Despite a representative for jeweler Elliot Alante claiming that the diamond was as safe as any other piercing, Lil Uzi Vert subsequently claimed that the rock was causing him bleeding and that he would have it removed. Now, somewhere in there, I think there is perhaps an argument about was it fan ripped or, actually removed, but I don't.
Something, man.
Although I do think it's kind of this is kind of fun. We have had a number of conversations on this show about like diamond implants or like microchip implants. Like if you could put microchips in my hands, and I can unlock my car and my house and my phone or whatever, I would probably do that. And like we had those conversations of like, well, would we actually? And I now know definitively that there is a line at which I am definitely going to put a needle into my arm. It's not. This is not an FDA approved place, but maybe I should put my little Dexcom little continuous glucose monitor right at my forehead next time.
See,
I can switch it every 10 days.
I think there is a difference though too between like putting essentially a chip literally inside your skin that is like essentially in your bloodstream, whatever the case may be.
The interstitial fluid.
And
learned a lot of
a
words
diamond
there.
being in your forehead that everybody can see and in theory can touch, right? Like those are two very different things. Like and I am all for putting every bit of technology I can into my body. I just don't want somebody to be able to like walk up and grab it and yank it out. Yeah,
no, that's really
that's
reasonable.
my line.
That makes a lot of sense to me. But if I did try to put it into my forehead, like the little filament on it is pretty long, and so I do think that my sugar readings would probably, I'll just say to keep myself safe here on a medical basis, horribly inaccurate and that no one should do this. But, Lil Uzi Vert and I are built different.
Like, I'm not interested in having my car key be an actual key that sticks out of my finger that somebody could just grab onto.
Yeah, no, that...
But if it was a chip...
Right.
Sure.
I just want you and the audience to know that I agree with you.
Thank you.
And that I'm not actually going to put my continuous glucose monitor into my forehead.
It'd also be hard because like you have to look at a mirror to look at it. You can just like you got to find mirrors at all time. Well, actually, that checks out for you.
Yeah, that's not going to be an issue.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. Have you started I know you've got your Apple Watch. I also know we need to take a break.
Yeah.
But have you tried using your phone or now your watch as like a digital wallet? Have you used Apple Pay on that at all yet?
So I have all my cards on there, but it's not something I've actually, for whatever reason, I've never actually used them. Like I think part of it is because I've never used it. I'm almost like afraid that the first time I'm like, okay, what exactly do I do? And then I'm gonna hold everybody up behind me.
Totally understand this.
Whereas I just know if like I have my card on me, I know I just put it in and I pull the card out and I go about my business.
Next time you are at the gas pump, because you're not gonna get in anybody's way.
Ooh,
that is where I finally did it.
That's smart.
Finally, I also troubleshot it. I can usually. Sometimes I get my watch to work. I've gotten my phone to work almost every time. I think it's like the top right corner or something of it. It's nice though. You could just tap to pay.
I need to watch a YouTube video of it, and then I'll feel pretty good.
I should actually do that. That would probably help.
Do that.
But the watch front is fun because that is very close to tapping a door to open it, tapping your car to unlock it, tapping the gas pump to pay for your gas. I think that's fun.
That stuff, as much as, because like you can buy all sorts, and honestly, I think even to a degree you can already get this. So Apple has all sorts of Apple Home products.
Yeah.
That you can control just from your phone, and I assume obviously have widgets for your watch as well. They may, honestly, I'm not 100% sure. They may already have the lock thing. It wouldn't surprise me because it's not that crazy.
It's like an Apple lock or something.
It's not that crazy of technology. I know they have it for lights and everything, but that is going to be a norm for every household. Is that everything is controlled by your phone or your watch?
A few quick
That's
Twitch
my
things
dream, at least, too.
To have everything watch controlled?
Yeah, just everything, essentially on my phone.
Yeah.
But, again, because it's also any Apple product, basically, right, where I can control my entire house. Phone, wallet, even tablet, laptop, whatever.
I have said now with my diabetes tech that if I could just be a great value Tony Stark, I'll live with that. But basically, watch-wise, I just want to be Buzz Lightyear. I just felt my watch buzz. Boom. Magic right there. On my wrist. It's fun.
I like tapping my wrist.
Oh, it's
After
nice.
you showed me that.
Yes. The best way to turn off your Apple Watch is just smack your hand with it. Smack it with your hand. Gone. It's awesome. We'll need to take a break. Whenever we come back, I got some Twitch comments I want to read. I'll tell you what those are whenever we come back.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Let's take a break. I don't think this hour is getting salvaged. This hour is going to be really disappointing to everyone who is like, oh, he did a show with Bobby Bell and Bill Moss. I bet that's really interesting. I wonder what else he did tonight. And then it's just a long,
something else.
Something else,
It's
man.
just a Venus flytrap.
A what?
A Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, look at all this normal Chiefs talk we do with interesting Chiefs players, and then they fly inside and snaps close, and they're trapped here now. It's almost entirely sports. They're trapped here.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Some good stuff from the Twitch chat. Human Torch said, time to play some more Lawnmower Simulator while listening to the show. I have seen that game played. I don't know that it directly appeals to me necessarily. But
have you seen the car? Essentially,
I play Animal Crossing.
Not car wash simulator, but it's like a high pressure water simulator.
I've also seen that one. That one also seemed like it might be a little more up my alley. But those are things that I might be able to do whenever Game Pass comes around, which is what Human Torch has pointed out.
Big fan of Farming Simulator.
Yeah, I've seen that also. Not been my particular lane. Have you still not played Stardew Valley, by the way?
I mean, technically yes, but no.
Not really. Okay.
I need to.
It's just very good.
He's making a new game that comes out, I believe, this year. Chocolatier Factory?
The Haunted Chocolatier.
Yeah.
I bet it doesn't come out this year, but it is in production and everything. I'm excited about it, but I'm not holding my breath, you know? It's one of those things like whenever it gets here, I'll be stoked. Yeah. I'm guessing it won't be immediate, though. Wes Burns on Twitch says, I'm playing Lego Marvel 2. I feel like we're at similar emotional stages of our life. Also the Lego games. That's another. I mentioned Yoshi's Crafted World as the game that Renee and I were trying to play to try to bring Renee into the world of video games a little bit. I also got the Jurassic World / Jurassic Park Lego game, which I didn't know existed, but it was on sale on Switch. And those games are great co-op games.
They're fun.
They're great single-player games. The Lego games are just excellent. And Renee loves dinosaurs. So I'm hoping that maybe that one also sort of opens up that door. Now, BTM on Twitch here, Rudy, has said, I want to challenge Rudy in a Pokemon battle, video game or trading card game, his choice.
Yeah, I've never really done the competitive on either of them. At least not since I did the trading card, competitive circuit when I was like 11. Like I drove up to Toys R Us up here to compete. Did that a couple times. But that was a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, I'm down. I'll probably most likely video game over TGC because I feel like I have a better understanding of that.
I'd like to get to a point where people can just challenge you to Pokemon battles.
No, I'm always
maybe mid-show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always down with it. If somebody wants to, especially with the VG, I'll never say no. Like that's not a problem.
I think the future is that I just have like an interview scheduled or something, and I'm just doing that. But the video stream is on you just playing, try to get a good shot of the screen, and you just are going listener after listener, bang, 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 while I'm talking to Seth about having 1,000 kids or something.
It'd be fun.
I feel like that might be the future.
And again, I've never really done the competitive VG thing, but I have like enough of an understanding that I'm pretty confident it would not be a disaster by means. Like I can hold my own, I feel like.
Do you think you know the whole type chart? If I was like, hey, what is this week in Strong Against? How good do you think you'd be?
I don't know if I could do it. Like there are
Dark.
Some fighting, and I know it's fighting.
Strong against it, right?
No, fighting and fairy are strong against dark.
Dark.
There's a little bit more to it, like the like competitive video game than just like type strength and weakness.
I just wanted to test your type strengths and weaknesses. I don't know that because that's as far as my knowledge goes. That's as far as I can prepare you here. It's like I can teach you how to wax on, wax off, or whatever. But at some point, you got to go. You have to do it to rise to the next level.
I know enough to kind of like hold my own, like again, like picking a good team and EV training and making sure you're the right natures. I understand that part.
I don't. I like the penguin one. I prefer to, even in the Pokemon Go PvP, which I don't do a ton of, but when I do,
it's meh.
It's extremely meh.
Part of it's just because it's so much. It's just luck.
Well, that's
really right.
Like fair.
That's really what that's largely what that comes down to.
But I would literally rather have a version of it that's just like, hey, you can do water types, grass types, and fire types, and just take your best shot.
Yep.
Because once it starts getting to psychic and fairy, I don't remember what's what. I just don't. You can tell me right now. I have an image on my phone. There's a type chart.
Strong against fairy.
I've already forgotten that.
Psychic strong against poison.
Psychic strong against poison. Poison strong against fairy.
Yes.
That information has left my brain. I can now come back and listen to this podcast if I need to in podcast form. It just doesn't do anything for me when I need to actually remember it. Anywho, there are a couple of football adjacent things, Chiefs adjacent things, just some absolute silliness, plus also some other things that Rudy will probably care even more about than I do in terms of some smack talk being had in the NBA. I feel like our best course of action is to take another break right now. You guys know we don't like to have a really short segment, but sometimes we go 38 minutes in the first segment because I forget to look and I'm out of practice.
Same.
Lost my train of thought, or I got lost in my thoughts and just kept talking for half an hour and change. That happens sometimes. So whenever that happens, you get rewarded with a really long first segment, and then you are punished here for my mistake. So we'll take a break. We'll come back, and we'll pick we'll spin our wheel of secondary topics and decide which one we'll get to whenever we come back.
Did you know you can listen to Almost Entirely Sports anywhere?
/home show, and be sure to tell him Steven St. John sent you.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
Sorry, I got distracted because I have the Facebook comments open now, so they come in live. It's distracting. Renee says that her dog keeps pawing at her phone. She's either loving the show or trying to make it stop.
With Joshua Brisco.
Listen, if you're listening to the show with your dog, please let us know how your dog is enjoying or hating the show.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I like that liner. That one's fun. I also do continue to want to re-up on that. If your dog has a strong reaction to this show, or really any animal, any pet, feel free to chime in and let us know how that experience is going for you. I'm going to spin the wheel here. Rudy, do you think you can make a wheel sound if I was like, all right, and here we go. And spin. Well, I haven't spun it yet. It's just sitting there still. It's just sitting there. And here we go. And spin. I was going to lean on Antonio Brown, Aaron Rodgers, the K-Rod multicast, Morris Jokic. Oh, Bill O'Brien interviewing for the... Bounce back to Bill O'Brien interviewing for the Jags job, which is really convenient that that's where it landed because that's about the only one we have time for. We'll get to the rest of them in the next hour. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's been done. It is complete. Bill O'Brien is reportedly interviewing for the Jacksonville Jaguars job after 1 year with Nick Saban. This is probably an unfair comparison, but I do believe in my heart of hearts that if Jeffrey Dahmer was the offensive coordinator for the Alabama Crimson Tide for one season, he would be an NFL head coach the next year.
To be fair, I think that's a little hyperbolic.
Probably.
He would be a head coach somewhere, maybe college, but I don't think it's a guarantee that it'd be in the NFL because the head coach of Maryland, that's a job you could probably get as well.
Also fair.
But he would be a head coach somewhere.
I think that if you left prison for heinous crimes and immediately joined the Alabama football staff, you are guaranteed to be within 2 years of an NFL job. Maybe not a head coaching job. Maybe it's coordinator, or maybe it's a college head coaching job, to Rudy's point. But my God, Here's the thing, and here's why I feel a little bit bad about accidentally sort of comparing Bill O'Brien to Jeffrey Dahmer. Seems unreasonable. Did he eat people? I can't keep him straight.
Is he the one who Zac Efron plays?
I think so.
I don't think he ate people.
Did Jeffrey... Oh, well, if you type "did Jeffrey," the first thing is, did Jeffrey Dahmer eat people?
Wasn't that John Lacey?
Nope. Eddie Lacy. John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy. I mean, Eddie Lacy might have ate some people, but have you seen that man?
Dibs on John Wayne, Eddie Lacy for my fantasy football team name next year. That one's mine. That one will be mine.
I think he's the one who ate people.
Here it says on Wikipedia, many of his later murders involved necrophilia, cannibalism, and the permanent preservation of body parts.
They left that out of the Zac Efron special.
Did they really?
I watched it. I don't remember them mentioning that he ate people.
What human parts did Jeffrey Dahmer eat?
Something tells me if Zac Efron knew he ate people, he wouldn't have taken that job, that gig. He weirdly, almost scaringly, was very. He killed that role.
Did he eat it?
I didn't see him eat it, but he certainly killed it.
Do you think my mom's calling me on purpose right now, or do you think this is a butt dial?
Well, she was texting you.
She was texting me, but she did acknowledge that I was also on the show, doing the show.
I'm going to say it's a butt dial. Human Torch says he sure chewed the scenery.
Made a meal out of that job. I don't even mind that Bill O'Brien's getting another look, because I actually think there's probably an argument that Bill O'Brien is actually like a good head coach.
At least he's solid, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like I would say he's probably one of the 32 best NFL head coaches.
I would at least, he's in that realm of like, yeah, he could get a second shot.
Yeah.
He should never be the GM of any team ever again. And frankly, there are a lot of other guys that have like one, like Jim Caldwell won. Did he make the playoffs with the Lions?
Yeah, I believe so.
Jim Caldwell made the playoffs with the Lions. And everyone's like, I don't know. He just seems kind of sleepy.
Oh, Zac Efron was Ted Bundy.
Oh!
Thank you, Twitch.
Thank you, Dillard on Twitch. Really cleared up some things for Rudy, and we did eat up that segment.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
meet in the College Football Playoff Championship Monday night in Indianapolis. ESPN college football analyst David Pollack on Georgia's offense.
Listen, Stetson Bennett wants to push the ball down the field and make big plays, but I think a lot of times if you're Kirby, if you're Monken, you're going, dude, I see the big play, I see what you're trying to accomplish, but let's also take that 15-yard run. Let's take that first down and move it. I think his feet, again, will the big reason why he's in the game and why he took over this team is because he's a great athlete that can run the football.
ESPN's David Pollack tonight on SportsCenter. Alabama looking for a 7th national title under head coach Nick Saban. ESPN radio coverage of the College Football Playoff Championship begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday night. The College Football Playoff Committee will meet on Saturday. One of the topics of discussion, the playoff expansion. A proposed 12-team format was announced back in June. Aaron Rodgers will start Sunday for the Packers as they close out the regular season in Detroit against the Lions. Packers are the top seed in the NFC playoffs.
This notion of AB was so mad and money hungry and want this money and all this sort of stuff, I don't buy it because it's easy to get. He can get that in 1 quarter.
More Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max Monday morning on ESPN Radio.
Listen up, Chiefs Kingdom. No one does tailgating and homegating better than the experts at Hy-Vee. At Hy-Vee, you can find the perfect fit from meats to veggies to snacks. You can find it all at one of their 19 metro locations. From the best burgers, brats, and wings to grab-and-go dips and desserts, and even Chiefs apparel for the entire family. Hy-Vee is the perfect teammate for your tailgates and watch parties. At home or in the parking lot, let Hy-Vee enhance your game experience in delicious fashion. Your one-stop shop for all your Chiefs fan needs. It's easy. Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee, the official grocery sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Spring classes begin soon at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. Kansas City, Kansas Community College is affordable, flexible, and offers schedule options taught by experts. And additional grant funds are available. See if you qualify. Learn, lead, and achieve at KCKCC. Online at kckcc.edu or call 913-288-7600. See you on campus soon.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
This show is an oddball, and I love that about it.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Do you think we can get a second play out of the wheel spinning bit? There's also only like 2 things left. It's more of like a coin flip. Let's flip a coin, Rudy.
I don't know. How do you make a...
I don't know. I don't know. I was going to try to do that with you, actually. Hold on. It's flick. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, it's head. Ding, it's tails. Ding.
Oh, it landed upright. How did that happen?
It's on the edge. Well, you know what that meant, actually? That's Aaron Rodgers. Because I actually had 3 topics. And so I was either going to be Antonio Brown, and he's the feet side because he almost burned his. And then the K-Rod Manning cast is going to be, that was the head side, of course.
Because when you do steroids, your head becomes very big. And
right.
Aaron Rodgers is still on the fence about the vaccine. So.
And Michael K. also could have done some steroids. And then, and then Aaron Rodgers just has everyone on edge. / on the fence. That feels like a good...
we got there.
We got there somehow. In the next hour, by the way, Mick Shaffer, KSHB 41, will join us for the return of the Mick Shaffer Hour, which is really exciting. So we'll have him in about 55 minutes. Not that anyone's counting.
57 with SportsCenter.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. But I do want to play this. And I will say also, I'm over it. We didn't talk about, the Aaron Rodgers MVP vote, #controversy. We haven't talked about Aaron Rodgers all that much on this show, partially because we haven't had shows around times he's done things. And honestly, and this isn't me being tiptoeing around it or anything. I think Aaron Rodgers has largely peddled disinformation as sort of a faux intellectual, if I had to sum it up really concisely. I think sometimes that type of skepticism can be helpful. In this case, I don't think it has been. I think Aaron Rodgers asking things like, why haven't we spent more time as a nation working on actual treatment for COVID? Him asking that question when it can be answered by all of science and medicine has been for like a year and a half. That stuff annoys me to no end because it's silly. Like asking hypothetical questions that have real answers sucks. It doesn't help anybody. But that's we have not talked terribly extensively about the whole Aaron Rodgers saga. Clearly, I've got my opinions on it that I've given you the gist of, but I'm also kind of over it. It's kind of all of it. His Manning cast appearance was kind of a weird vibe. I don't know why. It just felt a little bit strange.
That's kind of just everything he's done over the last year, especially.
I think it's everything that has come out of his at-home Zoom shot. I think might be it. Where he does his McAfee hits, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, there was something to his, like, set-free press conference that I thought was fun and kind of wild. I remember we talked about just him in Hawaii with Shailene Woodley and
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller. Yeah, I could not remember his name. Thank you, Rudy.
The fact that I remember his name is, honestly, shouts to me.
I think Miles Teller had some vaccine stuff also that maybe should have tipped us off a little bit earlier before we found out about all Aaron Rodgers' vaccine stuff.
And then Miles Teller's wife, of course, who I don't believe was ever named.
That is also, you're right. That is what happened.
Just known as Miles Teller.
It was Aaron Rodgers, Shailene Woodley, Miles Teller, and Miles Teller's wife, which feels unfair to her. Good point. But they were like in Hawaii, uncorking bottles of wine, listening to Taylor Swift. And that seemed nice, you know? Aaron Rodgers seems like a weird guy, but a lot of people that I like the most are weird people. I think we have seen that come out in a way that has been deeply unhelpful from Aaron Rodgers as of late. But anyway, again, everything about some of that weird stuff has been kind of an enticing weirdness until now, and now some of it's, like, again, I think actively unhelpful, maybe actively harmful. In fact, actively harmful. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent because all of it is leading to something that is only vaguely COVID-related, I guess. But, and this will also be true for Antonio Brown here in a minute, I'm a bit of a, I don't know, dramaholic. Is that anything?
Doesn't sound like you.
No, it really doesn't. And not like in the reality TV sense. I don't really care. I don't like. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with setup
about
drama.
Real life scripted fake drama.
Right. That might be my least favorite type of drama.
Right, because it's real.
But it's not.
You know, it's off the cuff drama that was totally scripted and fake.
And then there's purely scripted drama, which I love.
Yeah.
Great television, well written and all of that. Well acted as opposed to the reality shows that are not as well acted.
Sure.
But then there's the real life drama. And I think if you love sports, you are on some level a bit of a dramaholic. I most of the time do not care about the teams in the Final Four. I certainly, and that might be a little bit too specific, I definitely don't care or know anything about half of the teams in the NCAA tournament every year. There are probably 40 teams in the tournament every year that I'm like, oh, that's nice that they're here. I know their mascot. I know their coach, maybe. And probably couldn't tell you a player off of the 13 seed, right? But man, I love the NCAA tournament. You probably do too, because it is a perfect stage for drama. It's awesome. Every single night in the early rounds, you're going to get a handful of buzzer beaters, close games, and then thrilled college students advancing to the next level of the biggest stage of their lives so far.
And a 10-year-old crying.
And always kids crying. Kids in the stands. The kids on the court. Adults in the stands. Adults on the court.
There's always some kid in one of those games bawling his eyes out, and he becomes a meme.
And it's always great. It's always wonderful. Because it's drama. And again, I think I will, given the opportunity, I will watch any championship. I'll watch the gold medal curling match. I think on some level we all understand that. And I also, and this is a little bit different, I guess, but I also like the type of drama that comes from Russell Westbrook being added to the Lakers. I think that stuff is fun.
I've seen a lot of that.
That they're already over it?
Slightly off topic.
That's fine. We're all off topic.
Because that just reminded me, they showed earlier tonight just like Russell Westbrook's numbers. Very good, but it was like lowest of his career. And I feel like I've seen a lot of, and like literally in the same night, they also showed James Harden's numbers. Lowest of his careers. I feel like there's a lot of stars in the NBA who I'm now seeing like lowest of their careers. Just a little weird take.
It is kind of
a little weird side note that I noticed. Part of that might just be is that some of these guys are getting weirdly old.
That's what I was thinking.
Like Steph is older than we realize he is. Yeah, he's having a great year. But I tell you that, I think even Steph is shooting some of his, like he's having a really good year, but he's shooting, I think, some of his lowest numbers that he's ever shot. Because some of these guys are just weirdly old.
In the conversation we were having yesterday about like Brody Croyle and Aaron Rodgers and everything, I think you're exactly right. Is that guys get older and then eventually you see some of those down slopes.
Starts to see a little decline.
LeBron James is 1 year younger than Brody Croyle. LeBron is 37. Didn't we decide that Croyle's 38? Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
I mean, yeah, he's 38. Just like silliness. And I think that greatness from a guy like LeBron or from Tom Brady, whenever Ben Roethlisberger breaks down, or eventually whenever James Harden does, which again, I don't think that James Harden's not Ben Roethlisberger. Do not hear us say that James Harden's Ben Roethlisberger
and
right now.
Right, like with Russell Westbrook, when it's lowest of his career, he's still averaging, it's like 19.8 points, over 8 rebounds, over 8 assists. James Harden, his lowest scoring, I don't think it's the lowest of his career. I think it's his lowest though since like his rookie year. And he's still scoring like 22 points a game.
Still really good at basketball.
Like, still good.
But Tom Brady and LeBron have broken our brains on how athletes can age.
Yeah.
Because they are wildly the exception. Anywho, I like our little Russell Westbrook drama. I like
and
the
Drew Brees.
I love Drew Brees. But the transaction drama and the locker room drama and stuff like that becomes storylines in a real way, I think is typically kind of fun. And I'm just about there with Antonio Brown. And I think I have crossed the Rubicon on Aaron Rodgers. I love watching him play football. He's my second favorite football player to watch play football, behind Daniel Sorensen.
Understandable.
No, but like Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are my two. I hope that's the Super Bowl. Partially because I'd love to see those two guys actually be able to go head to head. Partially,
State Farm does.
Partially because if you listen to the right people, you might just believe that it would be another edition of Patrick Mahomes versus Jordan Love. Listen to this
Jordan
clip.
Love versus Chad Henne. Maybe something weird happens.
Ooh.
Let's get a weird Super Bowl. Jordan Love, Chad Henne.
That sounds like a waking nightmare.
I'll take the Chiefs.
Listen to this clip. This is Boomer and Gio. Boomer Esiason is one of the voices. I don't know Gio's full name. I'm pretty sure the show's called Boomer and Gio. There's a lot packed into this. This is just a clip from their show, and they'll explain it for you.
You want to read it?
I could read the whole thing if you want me to.
Go ahead. You can read it.
All right, I'll read the whole thing.
This is a text message.
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier. I've been told by multiple people in Aaron's direct circle that if the Packers make the Super Bowl, he will use the week leading up to the Super Bowl to prove a major point. He will threaten the NFL by saying he won't play in the big game or next season if they don't eliminate some of the COVID-related rules. One big one that upsets him the most is the testing of non-symptomatic players. He's told Jordan Love to be ready. Like you said, he's got to make it first. But Super Bowl week will be set on fire and send Goodell in a frenzy navigating the situation. Now, can I say what area of the country this is from? I mean, who are we protecting really here at this point? I mean, okay. So it's
of course you want it out, right? I mean, you want him to.
Is it someone that we should be trusting with their information?
I would, yes.
Now, my favorite part of that is the first word of the text message. I don't know if you could just hit that for me real quick, Rudy. Whenever Gio begins reading, the first word of the text message is where I knew that this audio is going to ultimately be magical.
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
Boomer Esiason must love being called Boom.
Yeah. Because I'll be honest, I didn't realize this the first time. I just assumed the text message was essentially saying, like, boom, like the sound effect, right? But it's like, no, maybe he's saying boom as in boomer.
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
Is he boom?
I talked over it. Hit that again.
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
Still not sure which boom he's talking about.
I think
it could be both.
I think that Boomer Esiason, if you meet him and you say, hey, boom. Mr. Esiason, nice to meet you. Or if you say, hey, Boomer, nice to meet you, he goes, no.
Boom.
Call me Boom.
I think anytime you talk to Boomer Esiason, when you say boom, you mean it's both. You are both saying, hey, boom, but you're also saying boom. I think it's always both at the exact same time because that's the way Boomer Esiason would want it.
100% agree. Also, that video was tweeted out by Funhouse. They're back after this. And that was retweeted by Aaron Rodgers with a quote, he's told Jordan Love to be ready. 3 laughing, crying emojis. Hashtag direct circle. Hashtag dumbest bleeping story ever. Hashtag fake news. Hashtag boycott fake news. Hashtag boycott bums. Hashtag boycott shoes. Hashtag boycott waterfalls. Hashtag I don't know what that's about. Hashtag boycott AJ smoking cigars. We're thinking it's about AJ Hawk on the Pat McAfee show smoking cigars. Hashtag boycott LaFleur's brows. He talked about those on the Manning cast. And hashtag I don't know what that word is. I'm not going to read it because I'm afraid. It seems like it's probably an inside joke, but I don't know how to pronounce it or what it is. So I'm nervous. As I've previously circled here, kind of over it. And also think some of it's kind of funny. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers would really be able to gain from that. It's also the craziest clause for a boycott ever of if I get to the Super Bowl at the end of this season, by the way, I am going to threaten to not play in the Super Bowl because I want to be tested less often when I'm asymptomatic. Man, that rule's going to change by the start of next season anyway, man. And he knows that, right? Like, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to know so bad.
Bright guy.
Fair. I want to know so badly who texted that to Boom. I was going to say his full name, but I decided to eject it. Boom, and it felt good. I want to know who sent that to him so bad.
Darren Rodgers.
I thought you were looking for a last name, and I was like, I don't know what you're going to do here.
Darren Rodgers.
I don't. Does it make sense that I can be a little bit that I am totally here for that audio clip? Boom. But I am about over everything else around it. I think I'm kind of done. It's all so adversarial.
Done with what?
Boom.
I meant the saga. Aaron Rodgers.
Just like if you took an umbrella and put it over
the Aaron Rodgers saga.
So you want me to say it like really strong, like a good talk radio host?
Just say you're done with Aaron Rodgers.
Listen. I know you know this. Talking about this now already. I'm turning into Mad Dog, I think, cadence-wise. I was going to go ahead and say it. I am done with the Aaron Rodgers saga.
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
I'm over it. It's done. I don't need to know anymore about Aaron Rodgers. What's in his bloodstream?
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
What's in his shoe?
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
What's he going to say on the radio show? It's on YouTube?
The Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
I'm not over it. He's on the Manning cast. You know what I do? I watch the game on ESPN.
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
You know, talking about John Madden. You love John Madden. If John Madden was on today, you'd be watching the Maddencast.
Boom, the Rodgers saga continues to get crazier and crazier.
I mean, what are we doing? Can we get just the boom? I feel like just the boom really at that point might turn into a full, like, bold exclamation point. Boom might become the yin to anywho's yang. You know what I mean? Anywho is sort of a soft transition. Boom is a punch in the face of my opinion.
Boom.
That's a tough one. It's tough because he's
not great.
No, he didn't read it very clearly. I'll let you tinker with it. While we're here in the boom, I'm about over it category, Antonio Brown went on a podcast and talked a lot of bleep about a lot of things. He bullied the hosts into telling him that he was the best receiver on the Buccaneers this year.
Boom.
There we go.
It's better.
It's better. He talked about all of that. He talked about how Tom Brady's only really his friend because he's good at football, which, by the way, he's probably right. Like, not as a... Sorry, that's on me, actually. Not as a shot at Tom Brady, but, like, Tom Brady wouldn't invite the sixth receiver with all of Antonio Brown's problems to live in his house, probably, if he's not Antonio Brown.
Boom.
But this was the part that I can't help but pull myself away from. And I know that I'm telling you that I'm kind of over the Aaron Rodgers saga that just got crazier. Boom.
Boom.
But here's what he said on the Full Send podcast, one of 1,000 things. But this was tweeted out by Greg Allman, and this is the part that I care about. Antonio Brown on the Full Send podcast says that former Steelers offensive coordinator Todd Haley, now new head coach of USFL's Tampa Bay Bandits, texted him saying he needed to come and win a championship on his new team. Bleep out of here, Brown says after having the text read aloud on the podcast. I tweeted this earlier, and I'm sticking by it here. I know that these are all human beings, complicated ones, as all of us are. Let me have this, Rudy.
Some of them might not be human beings.
Jamar Chase isn't, but that's not because of who he is as a person. It's how he is physically and his forearms.
He's an alien.
But these are human beings with their own problems, stories, issues.
Jamar Chase is just finding a T-shirt that has 4 armholes.
They all have their different issues.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's is keeping his socks on in a cryo chamber. It's like, that's pot shot. Is that fair? I don't know.
Yes. Actually, yes.
Maybe.
It's completely fair.
It's probably fair.
If you freeze off your foot, almost, you don't get to like those jokes are allowed to be made for a long time.
Probably. Okay, we're gonna get really dark here now. Oh God, I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna say my joke and then get really dark instead of saying the dark thing and then trying to make the joke again. These are human beings, and these are not TV show characters. Okay, I am genuinely trying to be actively better at keeping that front of mind as we're talking about players and coaches and all and public figures. There is a human being behind those face masks, under those helmets, on the sidelines, on your television screen, on your radio, believe it or not. Human beings with lives that continue outside of the public eye. Trying to keep that in mind. But if I could just get Antonio Brown being coached by Todd Haley in the USFL, I would really like to just, if I could cash in like one more token of kind of putting some moral distance between myself and what I want to watch on television. I just think that amped Todd Haley coaching Antonio Brown would either lead to 70 points a game and a championship or a ferocious sideline brawl by halftime of the first game.
Maybe both.
And maybe both. We do spend too much time around each other, Rudy. Because maybe both. It could be a fight at the end of their championship. It could be a fight in week 1. He could come back and lead them to 75 points a game. And I just want to know. I just want to see it.
I'll say the fact that Todd Haley's already thinking that Antonio Brown's NFL career is over with and that he really needs the USFL probably isn't a good sign for Antonio Brown if he is wanting to play in the NFL, which appears that he does.
Said business will be booming next year. So I guess he plans on it, yeah.
I think we've talked about this off air, man. The NFL will forgive a lot of stuff if you are good. A lot of stuff.
Be good.
Hit a woman, we'll look the other way. Quit in the middle of a game, though, is like the one taboo that you just cannot come back from.
Abuse, cheating, I think gambling on games. Did that guy ever play again? I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Violence. Yeah, any of those things. Quitting during a game is an interesting one that you pull out there, Rudy. But for the most part, if you're good at football and you stand during the national anthem,
yes,
you can get a job again.
Quitting during the middle of a game might be the one thing, because, go back to Marcus Peters, who technically did not quit during the middle of the game. He thought he was ejected during the middle of the game.
Right.
And it never was the same. I mean,
not here, for sure.
It was already trending in the wrong direction for him in Kansas City, but that was kind of like the final straw. And to a lot of fans, it's like, oh, well, he quit on the team. Look, well, no, he thought he was ejected. Literally, a Chiefs assistant coach also thought he was ejected because he was walking with them out of the stadium. I mean, Antonio Brown just straight up took off his shoulder pads.
Yeah.
On the sideline.
Yeah.
And then now he's just calling out the other, the Buccaneers.
Right.
On a lot of fronts. And I don't know how, if you're any team, and he's good. He is
still
good.
Really good.
Still very, very good. I really do think this might be just the final straw.
Yeah. I think there's a chance you're right. Someone pointed this out on Twitter. I don't remember who it was. But
I do not think he's going to play in the NFL again. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world if he was on a team next year, because he's really good at football. And teams are so desperate to win, especially GMs and coaches, because their jobs are on the line.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of money on the line. So I wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be surprised if he is on an NFL team next year. Ever again, really.
This is where it gets really dark again. So, dark warning. But we just found out recently that Vincent Jackson, in his late 30s, I think, basically drank himself to death.
Yeah.
Not just in one huge, but a serial over drinker, alcoholic, whatever, and then you find out over the course of years, and you find out that he has CTE. I don't remember. I think Vincent Jackson may have had some sort of incident earlier in his career, but it wasn't a huge series of things. You also have guys who have literally killed people after their careers, and they check and they go, oh, there's CTE here. Obviously, there's a wide range of all those things. It's not all created equal. Not everybody with CTE does horrible, horrible things or ends up having horrible addictions or whatever.
Odds are, if you played in the NFL long enough, you have some form of CTE.
Damage of some sort. But there's the degrees to it.
The vast majority of NFL players don't have that stuff happen, right? Because, like you said, there are a lot of degrees to it.
And other factors in play in all of that.
Yep.
But it is... And I wasn't perfect at this out of the gate, literally a week ago. But, the more thought you put into that, the harder it becomes. This is also dark, but, Vontaze Burfict's name was trending after Antonio Brown left the field.
Yep.
Because they're like, did he do all of this stuff before that hit? And I think that there were some things before that. And CTE is more about the subconcussive hits, the repeated blows to the head that you suffer, more so than one big concussion.
Hit. It's the fact that you've, especially for a guy like Antonio Brown, has been getting hit in the head since he was
his whole life.
7,
probably
8. Maybe even earlier, right?
Yeah.
You just never. I don't know exactly when he started playing tackle football. Probably pretty young.
Yep. And again, this is not on any level everyone who plays football is going to lose their mind. We've seen a enormous majority of former players have successful lives and careers after their football playing careers are over. But the more that all sets in, and the more examples of that come up around former NFL players and everything, the harder it becomes for me to see stuff like the Antonio Brown thing and go, yeah, that's probably just a person being weird and a diva. There's certainly some of that. But, and again, even CTE versus repeated concussion, just the things that we still don't really know there. Part of me wants to be cautious about it, and part of me wants to point and laugh and say, oh, look at this crazy thing that Antonio Brown's doing. Because it's not just the sideline blow-up. It's that then he goes on to a podcast, and this is what somebody on Twitter mentioned earlier that I thought was interesting, of like...
That night or the next night, he was on the front court of the Nets game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was...
Courtside.
Courtside.
Yeah.
That's the word I was trying
He was playing. He was playing in the front court.
He played in the front court with the Nets. And
then there's that, but then again, so something that somebody on Twitter mentioned was that the Buccaneers either knew or should have known, like, put Bruce Arians out there to shoot down some of those accusations and then just sit back. And eventually Antonio Brown is going to talk himself into a hole again. And people are going to see these clips and they're going to say, come on, man, why... You left the team, or you were cut, or whatever. But what does Mike Evans have to do with this? Why do you have to put down Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, a couple of fabulous pass catchers, and say, I'm the best guy over there? That's not. I don't know if that's helpful. Like,
and even Tom Brady is like, you look at Tom Brady's post-game comments about not even honestly talking about football, but just hey, we just care about Antonio Brown the person,
right? And
then Antonio Brown's just like, well, I'm not really his friend,
right?
And it's just like there's some unnecessary shots in there that do not help out your own credibility, right? Like, make you look more more unhinged,
right? And again, even that can be a part of other things that's going on mentally. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it might not make any sense. He might have significant issues. I mean, not to be a pop psychologist, but like, there are some. This is not normal behavior, even for someone rich and famous and powerful and who has a brand and all of that.
Think of like Terrell Owens, considered one of the biggest divas.
Right.
Chad Ochocinco, one of the bigger divas.
Terrell Owens did push-ups in his driveway.
Yeah, and neither of those two have really much of anything, close to this.
And
right?
also, thankfully, nothing post-career.
Yeah,
You go,
like you think of other receivers who have maybe had some big issues. Brandon Marshall's the guy that comes to mind. And Brandon Marshall admitted that he had he battled depression, and that was stuff that he continued to work on and everything.
Right.
Like he came out publicly and was like, hey, I had mental issues that I had to work through. And so like it's again, I don't like being like, because obviously I do not know what's wrong with Antonio Brown.
Right.
My guess is anybody who's played football as long as he has some sort of essentially whether it's CTE or just. Right, your mindset isn't always going to be right when you've been hit in the head that many times.
I don't know, but I don't know that it's fair to say that everyone who has had a bunch of hits to the head for a long period of time is dealing with something along those lines.
Of course, I just mean like I'm not like I do not know that he has issues. I'm just not necessarily. It's not surprising when you think about somebody who is showing signs of having issues, and then you also throw in the fact that he's been hit in the head a bunch of times. It does not mean you will. Just like you can kind of put
some cocktail there that you can
those pieces together, use as a little evidence to. It is likely that he is battling some sort of mental illness of some sort.
Right.
But also I'm not. I don't know for a fact because I'm not a doctor.
There's
play one on the radio.
There is something in that equation that isn't quite right.
Yeah.
That we all see, and I genuinely don't know exactly how to navigate it.
It can be both entertaining and sad.
Yeah, I guess so. A lot of stuff is, I suppose.
It's a weird, sports in general become this, and really it's just with people who are famous, just in anything. It seems like you normally see this more with athletes because they're more on a live. They're more in your face live, right? Like an actor is doing all this work behind the scenes, right? Then you go and watch his movie. But none of it's live, right? Athletes are doing these things live. They are playing sports live. They are talking back. They're responding to questions live. All this happens. So like it's a little different, but like I think it's okay for something to be both entertaining and sad because it's such a weird dynamic with sports.
And now I see a screenshot from what looks like an ESPN story. And this is the cycle, right? Here we go. Oh, come on. Where are we at? Here we go. In the meantime, Brown says he plans to be a coach for a team in the fan-controlled football league, a league that featured Johnny Manziel last year and has owners that include Marshawn Lynch, Austin Eckler, and Tiki and Rondé Barber. Source confirmed to ESPN's Kevin Seifert that the league is working on an agreement to finalize Brown as a coach. So we just had that 10-minute conversation, and also that seems wild to me, and also I'd be kind of interested to see how it would go. I genuinely would love to see him playing in the USFL with Todd Haley.
It'd be fun.
And also, he is also an actual human being with pretty significant seeming issues. I don't know, man. It's messy. And I think that we solved it, actually, over the course of this segment.
A weird, complicated, just universe.
Yeah,
that we
people
all kind of live in.
That I think the people that I butt heads with the most often in that realm are the people that are like, no, sports are simple. In any form. If it's like, I don't want to know about your analytics. It's about if you throw the ball and complete it or not. Or if it's about, I don't want to know about what these guys believe or whatever because it's football. It's what we get to get away from all these things. On any level, that might be one thing that I've been relatively consistent on is that pretending that it's not all complex is silly and unhelpful.
Yep.
And so that's where we've landed. Also, I'm, as I mentioned at the beginning of the segment, kind of over it on some of those guys, some of those things. Like everyone to be healthy and chill. That might be my motto for 2022. 2022.
Healthy and chill.
Just try to be healthy and chill. We're all striving. Let's just strive for that, all right? We don't have to accomplish it perfectly.
Boom, just be healthy and chill.
2022, be healthy and chill. Boom.
Take the show with you wherever you go. Listen live on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app and 810WHB.com.
See dealer for details.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
We've had a very woke hour here, I feel like.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
What a time. Rudy, we had a conversation before the show, actually, that I think I've got something close to an answer on that I feel like might just go ahead and be really instructive for everyone. We got very serious and very sportsy last segment, and I'd like to change that. I'd like to fix that now. I think we just need a second. I will need to read the internet here at some point, but earlier we were talking about the new album from The Weeknd. I told Rudy that it includes DJing, voiceovers, and a poem by Jim Carrey.
Which is still just so fun.
And so I asked Rudy, have you followed anything that Jim Carrey has done in the last 5 or 10 years? And because some of it's been very sort of existential and finding an existential piece, and
I know he's been very big into painting, that.
Yes,
he's got his own studio.
He does.
Art studio.
The Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with him and Jerry Seinfeld is an excellent one.
I'm pretty sure that's where I learned it because I'm sure that's where I saw it.
He goes through the art studio there. Some Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is a really good show, by the way.
It was. Is it still going on?
I don't know. There's several seasons of it and a lot that I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched it.
I'm sure that COVID would have put a halt on it at least. So I don't know if it's continuing. There's a lot I haven't seen yet still.
It was good though. It was entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's a very good show. But so all that wasn't terribly surprising to me in that larger context. But I asked Rudy if he had seen anything with Jim Carrey or followed anything with Jim Carrey in it recently. And he said, well, he was in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yep.
Well, that's a good point.
I did not see. I just know he was in Sonic the Hedgehog. I hear that it was actually a good movie. I've heard it's enjoyable. I need to watch it.
And who did he play in that movie, Rudy?
Dr. Robotnik?
I think he played Eggman.
Aren't they the same person? Didn't we have this talk?
This is the conversation we were having. This is what I've brought the answer to. So Rudy and I had this conversation. We won't reenact the entire conversation right now because it probably took 10 minutes. But Rudy was saying, well, I thought... say what you thought the Eggman-Dr. Robotnik relationship there was.
Essentially that they're the exact same person with different names because it's basically the original name because it's obviously Sega is a Japanese company. Game was created in Japan. Eggman was the name in Japan, and especially back in that time when things came over to America, they localized a lot of things. And they would change a lot to make it more American friendly. I mentioned this to Josh. If you go watch the OG Pokemon anime, I remember back when I was a kid, they have obviously naturally a famous Japanese snack is a
sticky rice ball.
Yeah, a rice ball.
Yeah.
And in the anime in America, they called it jelly donuts, even though they obviously look like a rice ball.
Yeah.
Because our brains couldn't handle that apparently.
Would have wiped out the nation.
Just done us all. So I assumed Eggman to Dr. Robotnik was an American localization decision.
I had always assumed that it was a Dr. Octavius to Doc Ock situation where there was sort of a Dr. Robotnik before he went crazy or whatever to...
Eggman was his villain.
Eggman becoming a full-fledged villain, right. I believe I have found sort of the answer here on Polygon.com with a bit of backstory and then the explanation.
Always count on Polygon.
Always count on Polygon. And to do that the best way I can, I'm going to need to read the internet. Can I do that? Can I read the internet? Thank you, Brady. I really appreciate it.
And now, Josh reads the internet.
The development team in Japan named the new character Dr. Eggman, a reference to the Beatles song. But when Sonic the Hedgehog was released in the US on June 23, 1991, the instruction manual listed him as Dr. Ivo Robotnik. And then there's a quote here from Takashi Izukiya.
Real fast, you said when the manual dropped in America?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want
to make sure I heard that.
This is tracking with your theory.
Yes.
When the game was originally developed in Japan, they called the character Eggman. This is the head of the Sonic team. That was the name of the character, but when the game got localized and ported into the Sonic the Hedgehog that we know in the West, they decided to, without confirming with the development team, change his name to Ivo Robotnik or just Robotnik.
That was a very common do not check in with the original development team, trimmed back in the day.
Seems kind of bonkers.
I imagine still happens somewhat now, but probably much, much, much less.
That's kind of when everyone first learned about the character. Of course, this was without consulting the people who made the game. They just kind of went off and did it. So the instruction book listed him as Dr. Eggman. Now the character has 2 different names. It says arguably the US version was released first, but internally the Sega team never saw that as the official name. So, Rudy, your origin story is correct.
Yay.
Wait till you hear how they retconned it.
Oh, I love a good retcon.
The names created so much confusion that Sega decided to unify everything in 1999 with Sonic Adventure. In that game, he was referred to as both Robotnik and Eggman. Since then, Sega has attempted to establish a canonical name for him. In an official Sega interview from 2008, Yuji Naka, one of the original Sonic creators, tried to back his way into a solution to the problem. Quote, "To tell the truth, his name has not changed," said Naka. "Robotnik is his real name, and Eggman is a common name taken after his shape." Here's the summary from Polygon. In other words, Eggman is an obnoxious nickname given to him by his haters, but Robotnik is what you'd find on his passport. Sure, it's a messy retcon considering previous statements, but whatever, it works. The retcon is what I thought happened. And so, I think in a rare case, I actually think we were both correct.
Nailed it.
But we're completely unaware of the other theory of how we got here. I think you knew the process, and I somewhere downloaded the canon. Which is wild! Also, apparently here, this is What About the Movie? In the newly released Sonic the Hedgehog movie, Jim Carrey's red-loving, mustachioed villain is called Dr. Ivo Robotnik. But during an important moment, James Marsden's character calls him Eggman as an insult.
Oh, yeah.
This actually follows closely with what Sega has presented as the canonical answer to the name debate, though bizarrely, Jim Carrey's character is not round in the film, so the slight doesn't make a ton of sense. I think it's about him being bald, perhaps? I don't know. That's me adding it.
Did you... Oh, you guys...
I haven't seen it. Here's the last sentence here from Polygon. In short, Dr. Ivo Robotnik if you're inviting him to dinner, and Eggman if you're kicking him out of your house. There you go. That is the internet. Also, someone in the comments says that his flying robots are shaped like eggs in the movie. I don't know.
Did you see the trailer for Sonic of the Wild?
I don't even think I know what that is.
Sonic Breath of the Wild.
No.
They announced, and by there's not really. It's not really a trailer for it, but it's more of just like a teaser, a little announcement. It's called Sonic Frontiers. It's an open world Sonic game that absolutely looks like Sonic Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshot, and it straight up looks like that shot of Link standing on the cliff with all of the mountains and the fields out in front of him.
Yep, it's Sonic Breath of the Wild.
Hold on, is this? It looks so much like Breath of the Wild, even with the tower of like looks very much like the temples and stuff.
Yep.
That it honestly looks fake. This is real?
Yeah, this is real. This was announced just a few weeks ago, I think.
It looks so much like Breath of the Wild, and also, I think 3D Sonic games have been more miss than hit.
Mm-hmm.
I would have a fun time running around a big open world as a very fast blue hedgehog.
For sure.
Probably more so than I've enjoyed running around as a not terribly fast young man.
I'm sure it'd be pretty fun. Also, Ice Pirate, I just had a comment.
Yeah,
I knew this. He points out. So, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, in the American version, they would send you to the Shadow Realm, which I guess you could say was like maybe purgatory. I guess it was a place where you were just trapped. You were, but like not on Earth. But like in the original, like the way it was created, it was that you straight up died. That you were dead. You being sent to the Shadow Realm is a reference to dying. But in the American version that was given, that again, that kids generally watched, it was more of this, like, I guess, like purgatory is probably the best description of it.
The Shadow Realm is a euphemistic expression specifically designed by 4Kids for the English-dubbed version of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime franchise.
4Kids was the one who did all of this, especially for your favorite cartoon shows, this weird localization. There's another one actually from Yu-Gi-Oh! That I just remembered. In the original anime, in Japan, there is a scene where they are going after Kaiba, and they have guns. And in the American version, they're holding cell phones.
Well, like, we know American kids we don't want to give American kids guns too early in their media. It is especially
It was a different time back then.
That's true. It is especially used as a euphemistic expression of death. That's wild. I did not know that. Good stuff, Iced Pyro. Good addition from the Twitch chat. I love that this realm basically kids bopped some
4Kids did something.
Anime. Yeah.
Can't have guns on TV and also can't have rice balls. What's worse?
Who
can say?
I was just going to pull up some lyrics here really quick. In the kids boppifying of anime here really quick. This isn't real. This can't be real. This isn't real. Is this real? I've got lyrics for the kids bop version of WAP. It says, yeah, you're drinking up some water bottles. Bring a bucket and a mop for that water bottle. Because it fell right on the floor. Look at water bottles. I'm not going to try to find out if that's real or not, because I don't want to live in a world where it is, and I don't want to live in a world where it isn't, so I'll just live right here in the Shadow Realm.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
This show's free. It's a free show. If you don't like
shows sometimes.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
It seems like there hasn't been an official Kids Bop WAP cover, but there have been several attempts at it. They just sort of polluted the internet. I'm pretty fond of I'm so bored in this house. I'm so bored in this house as the open.
I've been to a Kids Bop concert.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that story instead of reading more of these lyrics.
I took my niece to a Kids Bop concert 3 years ago, maybe. At this point, I've never seen her so starstruck.
By like the kids?
Yes, by the kids.
Interesting.
It was.
Are the
like,
kids famous to other kids?
It's the kids. They have just this group of kids that do all the the performing and the traveling and the concerts and everything.
Right.
And she was just like, now there was only 4 of them at ours, and I think there's normally like 8 of them, something like that. But she was starstruck.
Wow. Do you think those kids know the real lyrics?
Of course. They're touring. You don't go on tours and not end up, just think of the drugs and everything. Like they're on tour.
The Smarties, the Sweet Tarts, just all ravaging the green room.
Sticks.
The Pixie Sticks. They're, oh my goodness.
Line those bad boys up.
Bring a fork and a knife for these waffles and pancakes. Give me everything you got for these waffles and pancakes. Eat it up. Yeah, I love it all. Extra large and extra sweet. Put this pancake right in your face. Yeah, these waffles just can't be beat.
I really can't.
Some of these are still.
I like the version of that song better.
Some of these are still bad. Still really bad. Get a napkin and some OJ for some waffles and pancakes. We'll have Mick Shaffer's pancakes next. Mick's back.
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio.
this last weekend.
Hey, it's Greeny, and I will be back and better than ever on Monday, and it should be unreal. The NFL season will be done. We'll be looking ahead to the college football championship game. See you then. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN+.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
I don't like any seafood or anything with seafood in it.
With Joshua Brisco.
What about catfish?
Oh my God, guys.
Salmon?
No.
Rudy said salmon.
I like a nice Chipotle
salmon. Water,
salmon.
nothing.
What about an albacore tuna? Chicken of the sea.
Oh my God. Let's keep going. Yeah.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Reunited and it feels so good. It's a Mick Shaffer Friday Hour. The return of the Mick. I've said that many times, but this time it really is one of those long breaks where it's been like 6 months since we've been in the same radio studio.
When was it? It was it summer?
It would have been right before
Summer.
high school football season.
Yeah. So August-ish, something
Mick
like
feels
that.
loud to me. Mick's a loud talker.
Give me a mic condom. Give me that thing right there.
You don't use
slip it on.
those.
It's just a different feeling on the radio. It's
I
a different
love that.
feeling,
I
but I'll
love
put
that
up with it, right?
sound.
You know.
Yeah, because I mean, you're still having a great time. You're still happy to be here.
The levels look good.
I will say. Well, maybe I just got a little sensitive ears. Maybe that's. I was used to Mick speaking in person, then all of a sudden getting Mick straight into the headphones again was like this rejuvenate. I just wasn't ready for it. Honestly, I needed to level out my own levels because of how absolutely stoked I am to have Mick.
Well, Josh, the right side of your voice is a little louder than the left side of your voice. If you could fix that, I
yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah, sure, Rudy. Here we go. I'm trying to amplify the left side of my voice. I look like Popeye now. Hey, Mick. Good to have
Hey,
you
man. I mean, anything happened in your life since then?
No.
Like the end of it?
No. No. We were talking about this last night, where Jordan Foote, dear friend, was on, and he asked how old I would be in the year 2030, and so I hung up on him because I was tired of talking to Jordan and thinking about how old I would be in 2030. But then we had that thought of, well, yeah, this because Ari Timken, also a friend, tweeted it and said, well, when did you become the old guy? I said, well, in the last 3 months and change, I almost died, turned 27, got engaged, and now it's like, what's left for me?
Welcome to it.
Yeah.
I bet there are a handful of employees here at 810 that are younger than you.
There are. They roam around these halls and look to me to be the wise man on the top of the mountain. I don't have any answers. I'm not even that high up on the mountain. I'm just 2 steps up on the mountain. Rudy's microphone is what's going on? How are we doing over there? Are we okay? Whoa,
Nope.
That sounds bad. Nope. That sounds really bad. You know what?
Thank God I'm here.
Rudy can troubleshoot. We can have this chat. So there are younger people here than me.
I bet they're talking about stuff you've never heard of, like NFTs. No, wait, the new thing, which I'm sure is like PRGs or whatever they are. I don't know. They're probably talking about it, and you hate it.
Explain NFTs to me quick, best you can.
Non-fungible tokens.
Okay.
Right? They are basically images, GIFs, videos that are exclusive to you that nobody else has, and you could pay money for, and you could probably transfer it to other people.
That seems close enough to me, and it definitely keeps you younger than Colin Cowherd. Did you see his tweet last night?
I did. I learned NFTs from you guys, and I scoffed.
Yeah.
And I still scoff.
You should. Oh, yeah, you should.
Because you
I
guys,
scoff now.
you tried them, and
I had fun with them.
Did you?
But I'm over it now. Right?
You're on to the new thing.
No, here's the thing. I don't know when it's going to happen, but the Top Shot,
Yeah.
they've announced NFL, and I will say, like,
oh, you're
I just want one Patrick Mahomes moment, just one.
What would that go for?
Then I'm gonna buy a frame that just plays said moment on repeat, right? Like
so you buy a frame for a computer, basically,
they
or
sell
a
them
device.
now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, they've always had the ones that will play the pictures.
That was literally,
yes.
I got that for my family for Christmas this year. It's like, here, you can just display all these pictures digitally. I did not say it was for their ape NFT or whatever.
Their ape NFT.
It's the exact same concept, except it'll probably cost me like $500 more.
Exactly.
Right.
That's how it works.
Because of the blockchain.
Yeah.
It's just simply the blockchain.
Here's the deal. I'm convinced old white guys are just coming up with ways to separate you youngsters from your money.
Wow. Yeah. Like a sleeper agent situation.
Like the NFTs didn't come up. It wasn't some 23-year-old just out of Berkeley.
Mhm.
No. It's like, look at these idiots. They'll pay for anything.
Have you heard that?
I'm 65 years old, and I'm on 10 boards, and I have trust funds and stuff for all my kids, and I golf 8 days a week because I come up with ideas like this. What should we call them? Fungible. That's not a word. We'll just make it up.
Wait, hold on.
Go for it.
Hold on. What if they're not fungible?
Well, they're not fungible.
Oh my God! Genius.
We call them tokens.
Brilliant.
And these 20-somethings will get on it. They don't have to understand it. They just want to pay for it because it's new and cool.
Have you seen the new, essentially the scandal with the NFTs? How people have learned to do?
Copy them?
Right-click copy. Now,
way.
some NFTs people have figured out how to prevent that from happening. So not every NFT you can right-click copy, but some NFTs have become unvaluable because
It's
people
like,
were able to just right-click.
Man, if we only would have looked ahead and thought, maybe these things could be, maybe this video could be recorded or copied or shared. Damn it.
Did you?
It's always the little things I never think of.
It's been figured. It's been figured out.
Two things. First of all, Mick, you are the first member of NFT Anon. That's just sort of your conspiracy theory. It's all controlled by the deep state. That's the NFT.
Yes, I love it.
Second, did you have were you a collector of anything dumb? Like I had a ton of baseball cards and football cards.
So yeah, back
all of
then.
that. They're physical. They were fungible.
My dad didn't, but my mom thought collecting baseball cards was dumb. And then his mom threw out, oh my God, all their cards from the Mickey Mantle days, right, Josh? Threw them out when they went to college. It's just taking up space down here in storage. Those were the NFTs back in the day.
Right. It's all the
Every
same.
generation is the same.
Yeah.
It's just new crap that we complain about.
Yeah.
Right? We were talking earlier today on the Zone about Kirk Herbstreit, basically talking about this generation is soft.
Beards worked for this show last time you were in here, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah. Sorry,
How
go
long
ahead.
ago?
I mean, Beards was still with us.
Well,
he was still alive.
I've done a lot of shows with Rudy. It's not like Rudy was here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was those were the how do you pronounce that word? Halcyon days.
Halcyon days. It's a great word.
It's a great word. I always want to say
it's like the
Hollycon.
golden era of
Last
of
time
it,
Mick was on.
Yeah, Halcyon days of us having
Is
three
it
people in this
possible I
room
was
right
also
now.
still running the board?
Oh, that's true. Whenever Beards had his
might
long
have been
vacation.
on vacation last
Whenever
time.
he had his
Yeah.
mandatory vacation.
Beards took like a 9-month vacation. It was weird.
Really, that's called.
Disappeared.
I don't know how he got away with it, but
That's called an addiction, maybe, or like he went away for a while.
It was a sabbatical.
Yeah.
It was
sabbatical.
It was a 9-month
sabbatical,
sabbatical. Anyway, you were saying something. You're talking about the cards.
Well, no,
All the things
and
for
about
dumb
how,
kids.
and we made the point like, okay, every generation thinks the next one is soft.
Yes.
I mean, even in 1883, great show, by the way, I'm sure they were talking about, this new generation
soft
of kids that were born in 1875, right?
right.
They got it all. They got it with their books. Oh, what are you going to do, read a book? Your reader? Oh,
you write stuff?
Tie up a cow.
You should be out killing stuff.
Kill something. Tie up a cow.
You
Kill
know
it.
your
eat it.
letters.
You and your spelling.
Which, when you put it that way, it's kind of funny because it very clearly is just like each generation, at least generally does their best. You know, again, knock on wood. But each generation generally does their best to try to make the world a little bit better than it was when they all got there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just things of comfort. Sometimes it's trying to improve the world as a whole. Sometimes it's trying to keep the world as a whole not
It's
nuked,
progress
you know?
creates that.
Right. But you help make the progress and then get angry at the next generation for being like, oh, sick. I don't have to wonder if I'm going to die of the mumps. Sick. But did that conversation start with Dean Pease and his thing today?
Yeah. I loved that. You didn't like it, did you? If anybody criticizes somebody young, you just recoil, don't you? No, how dare you?
Yeah, a little
how
bit.
dare you?
A little bit.
Give it 5 years.
Oh yeah, I'm close.
Yeah, you're getting there. We've talked about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not that far away from that. I can feel the age hitting me, like a baseball bat.
He's right though.
Age or diabetes.
We have
that also
we
might
have
be-
the
my blood sugar
same
might be low.
we have the same conversations in the TV world
Sure.
about the youngsters that come in and what they know how to do or really don't know how to do and how they haven't paid their dues and they're in Kansas City on their second job. I had to wait till my fourth job to get here. Oh yeah, it happens. That's it. It's how it works.
Happens to everybody.
And there's there's exaggeration to it, but there's also kernels of truth. And
sure,
yeah, that's how the world goes round. You'll get to know it. I love that you're 27.
I know.
I
it's
mean,
like
there's no
kids these days don't have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to come run the board for the British Open.
Or
did you have to do that?
the weekend.
Yeah, I did it once.
And like the night before I was here, it was like a baseball playoff game. I think maybe it was a baseball game that went to overtime. So I think I was here until or extra innings. So I think I was here until like 1:30.
Yeah.
And I legitimately contemplated, do I just sleep in this chair? So I have to be back here in like 3 hours. But I was like, no, I want to go shower.
I drove straight here from a concert in Wichita one Friday night into Saturday morning, and did throw up on the way home, and still. But you know what? I got here.
Mm-hmm.
I got straight to my car at MNU, got in the car, drove straight here. And it was one of the best editions of the Midwest Outdoors that anyone's ever remembered because I got those buttons pushed.
Is that when
we still talk about it?
They talked about it for a while because I did that show after Josh, and I believe
this is a different day that I think I threw up and showed up on time.
Where
Yeah,
it was the root beer vodka, maybe.
Yeah,
they were a big fan. Josh one time had root beer vodka or something along those.
It was
lines.
I can't remember the specifics of it, but
it really stuck with the Midwest Outdoor boys because
Yeah.
they talked about it for a good few months.
Oh, I mean,
after
you've
took
got
over.
every flavor of vodka now. I mean, potato chip vodka.
These damn kids. Oh yeah,
These
I tried
kids,
to buy.
right, yeah.
I tried to buy the Arby's vodka while Clark Hunt was talking to us when we were still allowed in the Chiefs media room. Whatever that would have been a month ago,
Yeah.
2 months ago or whatever. But we had to get in earlier that day to the media room because Clark Hunt was talking, and so I didn't get to buy any of the Arby's vodka because it sold out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, kids these days they could just get to do all their press conferences.
So
at
it
home
tastes
on a
like
computer.
Arby's? Is that the deal?
Curly fries
Oh, that's
and
great.
regular
That's
fries
awesome.
were the two flavors they had. Are you a Bloody Mary fan?
No.
Like, really?
Hate
Okay.
tomato juice.
Okay, so do I.
Yeah.
That's an upset. I could see you just drinking. Maybe just drink gin with a celery.
Whole
stick in
family
it.
does. I mean, even the kids love their Bloody
Yeah.
Marys, and it's
Breakfast
like
in a glass.
exactly. They're shoving 10 pounds of crap into a 5-pound bag there. I mean, there's celery stalks, and you got some meat in there. Times, oh
too
god, it's like a
much.
meal. You need a knife for that.
Yeah, it's too much for me.
You garnishing it with like a piece of salami or
No,
something?
but here, you know what's
the
big?
meat? Where's the meat come into that?
There's meat in Bloody Marys, right? Don't they?
Some
sometimes
people
put a
do. Yeah, yeah.
stick?
Sometimes
I believe
people
I
do.
don't drink them
And
at
then,
all.
no,
I don't know if it's like how often people in the Midwest necessarily have that way, right? But like it is a common enough.
Okay, that's chili
way of
though. At
drinking.
that point,
right? It is.
It's
You're
alcoholic
exactly right.
chili.
It's close to it. No, the what's popular where I'm from and what my wife still drinks are she calls them red beers, which is basically tomato juice and beer.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. And so she will go to a bar, and no matter how many times I tell her, she'll say, "I'll have a red beer." And I'm like, "He doesn't know what that is. It's Coors Light and tomato juice." Oh, okay, thank you. I'm like, not Caldwell's not everywhere, right? Caldwell's not everywhere, and so yeah, that you don't like that, huh? Really?
I know that I know it's an audio medium where I gotta say how I'm feeling, but that makes me nauseous.
I don't like tomato juice.
You never had a Bojay? Have you had a Bojay?
I don't really talk about that on the
I
radio.
don't know what that is.
What's a
It's
Bojay?
beer and orange juice. Beer
That's
and
basically,
OJ.
but that's a thing. Like you
It's
put like an
close,
orange wedge
yeah.
on like a blue
no,
moon.
no, no,
right?
no. You drink the top off. You drink the first several ounces of like a Corona.
Okay, I
and
got
you
this down.
pour-
So for the Bojay, you have to take the top off first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, like you have a bottle, you drink the neck, right?
Uh-huh.
You start with the neck,
And then
work
you
your way down.
pour
top
in
off.
orange juice after that.
Yeah, but that totally makes sense
There's
to
no
me.
orange wedge. It's
No,
orange
no.
juice mixed with beer.
I didn't clarify enough. That makes sense to me. I'm a big Shandy fan. I have made my own.
Same deal.
I've
as,
done that with
as,
grapefruit juice.
Red beer. That's
It's just
that's-
different. It's the
tomatoes.
savory.
Fruit.
It's the
It's a fruit
savory
juice.
It's the savory nature of it to me.
I don't like tomatoes. Or tomato
I'm-
juice. I like tomatoes.
I don't drink it either. I hate tomatoes. I hate ketchup. I hate anything
Oh, really?
red. This table sucks.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
How do you feel about seafood?
Hate it. Come on. Oh God.
It took him a second.
Did.
What about cocktail sauce? You dip some shrimp into some cocktail sauce. No, so I'm also not a. I've even tried recently. Like, you know what? Maybe I need to give tomatoes a shot again. When's the last time you said, you know what, I'm gonna give tomatoes a shot? And when do you stop doing that? When
Never
do you
said it.
You just don't. How old were you last time you had a tomato?
I've never had a tomato. Now they've been snuck into some meals that I
Sure.
wasn't a big fan of.
Right.
Like I bite into a burger. I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell them no tomatoes, and so I take it off myself.
Okay.
But you would bite into it though. When's the last time
you
that a
have
tomato
tasted a
entered your
tomato.
mouth?
Like a tomato in a. I mean,
Well, you
does like
obviously-
spaghetti sauce count?
I guess I'm curious how extreme your
I don't like ketchup.
lack of tomato in your life has been. If someone puts the tomato on the burger and you take a bite of it, do you bite through the tomato or do you like it?
I spit it out.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So that's like me with onions then.
I'm same with onions too.
I will every now and then
we have
taste
definitely
something
done
with
the
an
Mick as a
onion.
picky eater show several times.
yeah.
But we're playing the hits. Or you're back.
But I'm the same way with onions. Tomatoes, I can eat tomatoes. I don't love them, but I do like little cherry tomatoes in a salad. But that's really the only tomato that I love.
It's like a gusher gone bad at that point.
But onions though, that's me with onions. Like I do not want onions on
are
anything
stupid.
I eat.
I like onions a lot actually. So seems like we've come to an impasse. What's something that you've done in the last 6 months, Mick? What's something that you go, you know what? I did this thing in real time. You know who needs this story? Josh and Rudy need this story.
No kidding. I've thought of that probably several times. But I'm like old and I forget stuff.
You got to get you a notes app, just running.
Absolutely.
List of
just
stories.
say, hey, I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I know there were great things, a lot of fun things.
How did couples golf tournament go? Last time we talked, that was still going on. You were getting.
We
to
did
the
it
end.
every week.
I think you were getting to the end of the season though. I think maybe you had a couple more weeks left.
Yeah.
You guys come away with the
we had a tough year, and I blame it all on my wife.
Yeah, good.
She wasn't focused.
Let me write that down.
She was drunk the whole time.
Too many red beers.
Too many red beers.
Blame
That's the deal.
wife.
We won probably 2 or 3 buttons, which you win a button if you win.
I remember the buttons on the hat.
Yeah. But we did not win the most. Nope.
Anything else that I should write down in terms of I've been engaged now for a week, and I just wrote down blame wife because I think that one seems important. Anything else
does
I
she
should
listen?
know? Not. I mean,
like Corey's wife listens.
Oh, you mean to
every
the show?
Yeah, to the show.
No, maybe occasionally.
Corey's wife. Every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every show, she's listening.
Listen more to the zone than I have.
Listen more to the zone than Mick and me and Jason
absolutely.
have. Are you kidding me? Definitely listen more than Beards has.
If you honestly, if you asked my wife, "Hey, does Mick do radio?" She'd be like, that would be. I mean, she might get it right.
I think
I
so.
like to think that she thinks you do a podcast. That radio is a podcast.
She would if she
He
knew there.
he's on a
She loves the
podcast.
podcasts.
Yeah.
She doesn't like
Okay.
terrestrial radio though.
That's understandable.
You gotta get her to tune in. We need those.
But she would
Nielsen
never. She
ratings.
doesn't watch me on TV or no.
Does she?
She's
Are
over
you
it.
Batman to your wife? Does she not even know what you do at night? You get into a costume, it's just a full TV suit,
Right,
you just disappear
yeah.
into the darkness?
Yeah, she just knows I'm not there. She's thrilled
She knows
with
you're
it.
not there and that the bank account looks okay. I hope.
Oh God, yeah. A lot of kids.
I was like, kids really seem
Kids.
like they'll take the win out of it.
Kid poor.
Okay, so no kids also. That one already good on the
They have Scout.
So yeah, we have a dog. The dog's not that expensive, A dog gets sick.
Oh, you know what? We've gotten ferrets. That was one of the deal. We got ferrets
What?
since
All right.
since you died.
Go ahead.
Ferrets.
Yep,
Yep.
died, came back. I'm gonna just get comfy. Tell me about whose idea, how did it happen, how many do you have, and what do they smell like?
So we went to Mexico in November, and Grandma Rita came to watch the kids, and we came back, and my middle son was driving. He's 14. She just let him just drive to school and back all the time. It was nowhere near legal.
By himself?
By himself. She didn't want to take him in the mornings. You just drive this car. More
like Grandma Marguerite.
My 9-year-old was watching Yellowstone with her grandma,
doing the taxes.
catching up. And then my 18-year-old had purchased ferrets and a gigantic ferret cage.
Oh my God.
So 2 ferrets because you can't have just one.
Yeah, no.
They need a
They need a
playmate.
buddy. Yeah.
Yes.
Can't have just one ferret.
And so we have 2 ferrets. I've yet to touch them. The kids play with them on occasion, but I'm sure they're probably tired of them by now, we have a lot of animals in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so ferrets are the latest addition.
This is so important. They didn't sell you a boy ferret and a girl ferret, did they? Because if so, you're going to have a lot more than 2 ferrets, I think.
Their names are both girl names, so
That
I don't
could
think
mean
so.
anything. I don't.
Ivy
is it
and
easy to
Lola?
tell? Ivy and Lola, you said?
Yeah.
Those are both pretty good. Lola's my grandma's name. Tell her that you guys named the ferret after
It's
her.
coming back.
So do you ever let the grandma watch the kids ever again?
Can I
now?
Google
She's done.
Yeah, right.
We killed her.
Because there are 3 pretty bad offenses.
Like Rita, they could have stayed at home by themselves for the week and been better off. What are you doing?
Like maybe
Ferrets,
if
ferrets and ferret cages, by the way, guys, are not cheap.
If your son was left in charge, there are no ferrets when you come back. Probably,
Well, he would have
right?
definitely got the ferrets, but she's not watching Yellowstone, and
But like
the middle one's getting
the oldest
a ride.
son like got permission from the grandma. Like the oldest
From
son's
the
like,
grandma,
well,
yeah.
Exactly. The oldest son might be like, well, I don't have permission.
I'd
to
already
buy
told him he
ferrets.
wanted a ferret for months. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not getting
he
ferrets.
knows he can't buy ferrets,
Yeah.
but an adult gave him permission.
Am I gonna get in trouble if I Google how to sex a ferret? Because I want to know.
I mean, I don't know if you're gonna get in trouble. You're on a list, but
All
those
right.
are two different things.
I'm going to the list here because I feel like
I mean, I'm judging you right now. Why would that be one of the first things that pop into your head?
because I want to make sure that you don't end up with 8 ferrets. I'm not googling how do ferrets procreate. I'm googling how do you find out of a boy ferret and a girl ferret. Because I'm not
I
sure
thought
where their bits are.
You use sex as a verb there. You shouldn't have.
I know.
How do you sex a ferret? What do you think I'm
if
thinking
you talk
of?
about sexing a chick, damn it. That's what you would
Digging
call
a
that,
bigger
though.
hole.
I know. What am I?
How
I
to find
know.
out the gender? Type that in.
Yeah,
Not how to sex a ferret.
It's a better.
That
Google
I'm thinking
term.
of.
How to find out the gender
Right, you're getting
of
like
ferret.
a tube and.
It's like
it's you and the ferret. That's what I'm thinking of.
It's
much
the
better
it's
term.
yeah. No, I mean you guys are right for sure. I'm not arguing. So ferrets are known as jacks or jills depending on sex. If you're purchasing a ferret from a pet store, don't assume the animal's indicated gender is correct. Generally, male ferrets are larger and more muscular than females with bigger heads. Jills have a more delicate appearance with thinner noses.
These two ferrets have delicate appearances.
Okay.
They're about the same size.
That's good. That's good.
Lola and Ivy.
So you can place the ferret on its back to get a good look. It says, which I don't like the phrasing of that either. It says
You want to know how to sex a ferret?
It says you'll have to
That's how
place,
you do it.
You'll have to place the ferret on its back to get a good look, which can result in an angry animal. Okay, so this is easy. You're looking for either no protuberance, a lack of protuberance, or testicles.
Yeah.
So they're a lot of these words get real medical. I don't care for that, but there would be a bump in the abdomen for a male ferret, and theoretically no protuberance on a female ferret.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to have
Learned so much today.
more ferrets than you need, which you already do by 2. But I'd like
Yeah,
you to
you
buy
have 2 more.
Well, I mean,
too many ferrets.
If you're talking about like Gremlins, I don't want that either. Probably a show you haven't seen.
I haven't.
Oh my God.
No,
Have you seen
Oh,
Gremlins?
Gremlins
That's a
is-
classic.
it's
All right, good.
What is
one
wrong
of the,
with you?
One of the
What is
best,
wrong with you?
One of the best
Why?
Christmas
God.
movies. Mogwai. Mogwai?
Mogwai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mogwai.
Yeah, I don't understand the reference. Sorry.
It's basically a
Little
Kirby. Gizmo's great.
Don't feed them after
Mogwai-
midnight.
Nope.
Don't
Don't
put
go
them in
wet.
water.
Wait,
They'll procreate.
A Mogwai basically is like, Furbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Furbies. But I'm pretty sure stole the
Yeah,
Gremlins
you got to
model.
talk like
Yeah.
pop
Oh, I've
culture.
seen Gizmo.
Yeah.
I visually understand Gizmo.
The scene where Gizmo turns into Rambo Gizmo
That was
is
funny.
one of my all-time favorite.
great.
Like, it's a good look.
My first family's dog name was Gizmo. I've not seen this film though.
It's a good film.
Doesn't really look like the dog. Dog had smaller ears, just sort of by comparison. Wow, I can't. So, can you walk me through a little more here of what happened? Like, what was the experience like for you and your wife realizing the damage that had been done?
Well, we were in Mexico when we found out, so it's like no care in the world. We're like, well, it's the latest stupid
Did you
thing
find
he's
out
done.
about the driving and the?
We got back, yeah.
Okay, that's
Like,
when you got back.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
She pours another bottle of wine out of the box.
So I'm saying, man, she's, instead of Grandma Rita, it's Margot Rita, and she's just chugging. I mean, is she good, Grandma Rita?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
What?
Do you?
I mean, what part of the story have you missed?
I don't. How did you decide that was the play? Then I guess is my next question.
What
of,
play?
Let's leave the kids with Grandma Rita.
Well, it'd been fine before, but
Okay.
she might have taken a turn.
All right. Yeah, I mean that happens. Eventually, it's just sort of YOLO, and I'm old. That's kind of where I'm approaching right now. Rapidly, I feel like.
Yeah.
Very close.
Might just if any 14-year-olds are listening, they want to just drive a car. I guess. You can have my keys. I don't know. I can't.
Scout's just gonna be driving Josh's
Man,
car.
I'll tell you what. If I could teach Scout to drive, I would do it. Because then I could do stuff in the car. I could just play my Switch in the passenger seat and let Scout drive. That's my whole logic behind like self-driving cars being something I do actually want. So I just don't. I don't really
You'll die.
enjoy driving. But I mean, yeah,
You'll die.
We're all gonna die.
Here's the
You
positive.
You don't mind dying early? It's fine.
Here's the positive.
I feel like I got my one already, right? Like I feel like at this point it's house money.
If the car does crash and you do live, there's definitely some sort of lawsuit in there where you're retiring, right?
Oh, Elon is paying for all my bills forever.
Like you are retiring early.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
I'll
need
take
like
those chances.
self-driving cars to work perfectly for like a 10-year span.
Yeah.
Right. It's like 20,000 days without an accident. Then I'll get one.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I don't hate that.
I'll
This
be
has been
part of
good, man.
the beta.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is
I need it for free though. You have to give me the said card for free, and I'll be your guinea pig.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy my own death trap, but I will hop
take
into
one.
one for free if it has low, good gas mileage. Doesn't need gas at all, perhaps.
Yeah,
that all seems like a positive. Well, this feels like a natural lull in the conversation. You guys want to take a break?
Let's do it.
All right, I feel like we've earned it. We'll take a break. Mick Shaffer from not 40. It was 41 Action News last time.
No, I don't think so. We've been the rebrand for a while.
Did it happen just then?
KSHB 41.
Maybe a show or two.
Okay, it was very early on in that process, though.
I think it was not maybe a month.
No, at training camp we were KSHB 41, and that
I don't know
started
if
in
Did
July.
we have you during training camp?
I don't know. Maybe it's been that long.
We'll answer that question whenever we come back.
Find out.
We'll find out next on American Idol.
It's getting colder here in the heartland, and that means the action in the woods is heating up. So before you head off on your next hunting trip, be sure to check in with your friends at Bushnell. They've got everything you need, from rifle scopes and binoculars to laser rangefinders and trail cameras. Bushnell has you covered. With 75 years of experience in all things outdoors, you'll find reliable gear that helps you increase your chances of success. Visit Bushnell.com for more details. That's Bushnell.com.
Here are KU coach Bill Self and Dan Chandler of the Salty Iguana Mexican Restaurant.
Coach, I know you love the family fun and great values at the Salty Iguana. What about the food?
Spank, you know we can both put down some iguana dip. I like the Prairie Village burrito, and as many as I bought from you, it ought to be called the Bill Self burrito.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to walk around the Big 12 being called Burrito Bill.
No worse than being called Spank. Spank.
Enjoy the best happy hour in town from 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays at the Salty Iguana. And check out the Salty Iguana website, saltyiguana.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hedgepeth with Quad Power Products. We know that time is money, and we pride ourselves in getting our customers back up and running quickly. At Quad Power Products, we can duplicate your hydraulic hose assemblies while you wait, in most cases getting you back out the door in 15 minutes or less. We have an excellent inventory of hydraulic hoses, quick couplers, and adapters, and we pair it with the best customer service. Come see us today. Quad Power Products on Hickman Mills Drive, just south of the Triangle in South Kansas City.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Hey, this is Stephen St. John. It's time to call QC Kinetics, non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them keep giving you steroids. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Locations in Gladstone and off 435 and State Line. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics.
Sunday, playoff berths are on the line with an NFL tripleheader to wrap up the regular season on Sports Radio 810 WHB. First up, it's Big Ben's final outing as they face the Ravens at noon. Then at 3:25, Seattle will take on the Cardinals with playoff positioning on the line for Arizona. And at 7 o'clock, the Chargers and Raiders meet with the winner going on and the loser going home in the AFC West Showdown on Sunday Night Football to wrap up the regular season. It's all right here on your home for the National Football League and Super Bowl 56, Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hi, I'm Jordan, president of Digital Lagoon, a web and design agency. This year, I'm proud to be celebrating 25 years in business. Here at Digital Lagoon, we can provide you with a strategic digital marketing strategy. With the implementation of social media, SEO, and online advertising, these programs are proven to improve your website traffic. Let us collaborate with you to structure a plan and cut through the digital noise. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Back in the day, it was so easy to murder somebody. They didn't have cameras all over the place.
Absolutely.
Nobody had phones. Nobody's tracking anybody. Like, if you got caught murdering somebody, you were just a sucky murderer.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
One segment wasn't good enough. It's never good enough. With Mick Shaffer from KSHB 41. Did I get it?
KSHB 41.
Still harder.
Sports, if you want.
41 Sports.
Yeah.
It's Mick Shaffer. And we get him for an
the
hour
sports guy.
on Friday. He's Sportsman Mick Shaffer.
I direct the sports.
Director of Sports Operations at KSHB 41.
I've already said the Chiefs are going to win tomorrow. I've directed that. Put it in play.
That's really bold of you, Mick.
I know, right?
Yeah. The Broncos haven't beaten the Chiefs in over 2,000 days. Do you know that?
Know what it is? It's 2015, right?
Days. I don't remember exactly. I did the math earlier.
I think the game was the Jamal Charles fumble game against
God, was it
against
really?
Peyton Manning.
Is that true?
That was the last time.
That feels like we're so old. I'm really having a crisis.
Charles.
Yeah, I knew the Chiefs haven't lost the Broncos since Peyton retired because Broncos haven't been very good since Peyton retired.
Do you think it's bad that I'm having my midlife crisis at 27? I'm just saying 54 and we're good. That feels like a dub at that point.
Tyler Bray tried to give that
Yeah, try to
away.
get to 44.
He did, you're right.
When Mahomes
44?
got that first start.
I'd get to 44, then ask somebody, does it feel like a dub to get to 54? No, it does not.
No, I imagine as much. I just feel like I'm definitely not having my quarter life crisis right now. That happened a minute ago.
Yeah, you ain't Betty White in it.
No, I'm certainly not. I'm certainly not. How did you feel about her going out the last day of 2021? Is that nice to get that out of the way? Previously, big Golden Girls guy also.
Love the Golden Girls. I own 3 Golden Girls shirts.
Didn't wear any of them today. I hope you wore several of
New
them.
Year's Eve, I had it as an undershirt, and I might have displayed it on a few occasions. So, yeah, no, rest in peace. And, no, yeah, that stinks. Like, People was doing this huge cover spread on her, and I think they still put it out, right?
Oh, man, that's brutal.
And so, yeah, that stinks. But, 99 years.
That's a lot of
great life.
That's a lot of years.
By the way, Stone Cold Fox back in the day. They're showing pictures of her.
I don't think I've ever seen Betty White not old.
In the 50s and 60s. Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, since I've been born, she's been in her...
old as hell.
She's been
Yeah.
She was roughly 68 or 69 when I was born.
Nice. I just Googled young Betty White, and Google was like, we don't actually have anything for that.
Oh, there's pictures out there. Yeah. Stone Cold Fox.
She looks like, I guess, every actress from that era, but just it seems like they all younger,
are like
right?
Marilyn Monroe knockoffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you never act, but like none of them ever really end up getting to 99.
No.
How old do you think you want to live to, Mick? If I gave you any number, but you have to live out like how your life would be going at that point, right?
Am I senile? Do I have all of my mind? Is it okay? Is it decent?
I think that's part of the gamble, because if you say 150, we're pretty sure the answer to that will be no, right? Like right. You might be there at 150, but you're gonna look like the old worm mom from SpongeBob, the chocolate.
Yeah, I want all my faculties.
Yeah. So you gotta make that call.
990 is a good number.
I like a round number for
9,
sure.
Yeah.
I think it could go either 90 or 100, but I feel like once you get to 90,
that means I'm not yet halfway through life.
You could have a good midlife crisis still.
Yeah.
Do you think you've had
one
yet?
Is that what the ferrets are?
No, I'm like not emotional like all you other people. I'm just like I'm a thinking man, and I don't let my emotions take over me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I realize, okay, I'm old. This is what you look like when you're this age. Get over. I'm gonna try to work out. Some days I will, other days I won't.
Right.
Okay. These bad things happen to me today because that's what happens to you most days. Most of the time, bad things happen to you in a day.
Mm-hmm.
A few good things, but mostly it weighs to the bad side. That's just life. That's how it works. When you have a good day, celebrate it. Saturday was a good day. Oklahoma State beat Notre Dame. That was great. I don't know if you guys want to talk sports on this sports show at all.
Kentucky got a bowl.
I've got one sports topic for you before you leave. For the end of the show.
So yeah, no, I don't freak out over anything whatsoever. I don't need to have drama in my life every day or at all, really.
By the way,
I'm not an emotional. I'm not an emotional person. No, yeah,
July 9th was the last time you were on Almost Entirely Sports.
You figured that out?
I went and looked it up. We did talk whenever we were filling in on the zone, though, and you came in and finally told us about your rattlesnip bite. Or not rattlesnake, but your snake bite.
That's right. I forgot. We kept meaning to do that on AES, but we just never could.
It would have been today.
We just didn't have shows.
I've forgotten the story by now.
Wow.
6 months, basically. I'm glad that you're relatively stable, Nick. How old would you like to be, Rudy? How old are you right now?
31.
And you like to be?
69 seems like a good
Oh,
number to
my
go out on.
God. Are you kidding me? That's young.
Think about how funny that would be, though.
Honestly, in all seriousness, like anything
Tired
after
joke.
70 feels like.
No, you'd be funny. Go to 86. 86 means you're canceled, right? You're 86.
Ooh, that's
you're out of
good.
it.
I like that.
You're canceled out of life.
This might be that just like most of my
I'd like
grandparents
to be 420.
passed away in their 70s. So like 70s just kind of feels like yeah, you know, right.
My dad's 70, about to turn 71,
Just
and
kinda feels like
he's with
feels
it, moves
good.
around just fine, and still working and all that stuff. 70's getting younger.
Oh, it's definitely getting younger. I think I'm good at that. I feel like if by 70, I probably have done most of the things I want to do in life, and if I haven't, I'm probably never gonna.
All right, so I have diabetes now, so my math is going to be different than your guys' math.
You're just
But I'm also
hoping to
playing with
make
house
it
money.
to tomorrow.
If I take it one day at a time, week by
One day at a
week,
time.
if I gave you a number and I said you can take this number right now and you know that somewhere in this year of your life you are out of here, but
I wouldn't want to know.
Or you can play the field though, or you can just let it all ride. You could guarantee yourself a certain amount, but you knew that was going to be it.
No, I don't want to know. How about this?
I can guarantee that you'll get there. Actually,
What if you knew not the year,
Yeah.
but the month and day you're going to die?
I
So
would
you're
take it in a
freaking
second.
out.
In
You're
a
freaking
second.
out once a year.
Terrifying.
Oh,
But
man.
then you're jumping out of planes
Oh,
the other
you don't know the
364.
year. Oh, you don't know the
year.
Yeah, you don't know
So
the year.
every year on January 28th, you're
You
like,
know you
oh,
are gonna die
I'm
January
I'm
28th.
dying on January 28th, and so, oh God, you're lock yourself up in the house, but maybe that's the reason why you die.
That's why you die.
Yeah. I think you would almost have to turn that into like a celebration day where it's just like on that day you do your favorite things, right? Because like that could be like.
But once you survive
have
January
a big
28th, I mean,
meal.
it's like
Yeah,
house money after
364.
that,
Let's
jumping
go.
out of planes.
Let's go
I'm
nuts.
driving 100 miles an
Yeah.
hour. Tempt me, fate. You said. You said.
You said. You promised, God.
But then you would get like in a wreck and become a vegetable, and then like next January 28th is when you'd finally perish.
Because that's how you go. Yeah.
Yeah, if this was an episode of The Twilight Zone or something, that's what I would be afraid of. But if that offer was presented to me, I would want to know. I think I would. Because I think every January 27th is just a rager, and then one of those 27ths, you try heroin for the first time, and then you die at 12:05 a.m. And it's
That's
like,
the
oh.
whole deal. Your reaction to knowing the date could be the thing that contributes
actually
to
does
the
it.
date
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Would you want to know exact date, year, and everything? If I gave
No,
you
I don't
that?
want to know any of it.
Rudy, would you want to know that? I definitely would. I wouldn't even hesitate.
Because I'm pretty sure I could screw it up. If you said, hey, you're dying on January 28th, 2051, I'm like, no, I could totally die before that.
You try.
I'm going to be on a lot of boats between now and then. Okay?
I don't think I would want to know. I don't know. I'm split.
I don't wanna know.
I don't think I'd want to know.
I would love to. Where would you?
You got to keep that hope going, right? I mean, you just need that little tingle of hope. That's
Yeah.
going to come a little sooner.
I just think I'd like to know. I'd like to see I'd like to see the clock ticking. You know, I'd like to know how much time I got left in this game. If I need to go for 2 here or not. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. How do you guys? How would you most like to die? This show is getting dark today, but that's just where I'm at mentally.
Old and sleep. Easy.
Yeah.
Something.
Not on a boat. Not in a horrible crash. What if
No.
if you're old on a boat?
No.
And you die during a nap?
I don't want to see it coming.
No, you don't. I'm saying you are on a deck chair, and you take a
You are
nice nap
sleeping.
with a red beer.
I don't want to be like lost at sea or mangled up or whatever.
No.
You stayed asleep the whole time the Titanic went into that iceberg, and you never felt a thing. You didn't know a thing happened. Life, it was over.
No, you said old in your sleep, and I'm saying, your kid and his 57 ferrets come over to wake dad up from his nap to go get dinner on a cruise or whatever, and you get a sea burial because you're dead. You died during your nap.
No, I'm an organ donor, so I'd want those harvested.
Okay, good.
Give me back to land.
Good.
I would probably want a regular burial. I think.
Okay.
I don't want
Cremated
to be
or
cremated. No.
Okay, why don't you
I
want
don't
to be
think so.
cremated? Talk to me about that.
I don't know. I'm just old fashioned. Let's just do it the regular way.
I think
I'm
oldest
sure
fashioned
you want to be
might
cremated because that's the new
I mean,
age way
I
of
would
things.
say the old-fashioned way is like basically you're put onto like a little makeshift boat sent out into sea as they shoot arrows, burning arrows.
Are we talking Game of Thrones?
I mean, that's how they did it.
So you're a made-up show that started in 2010 is your version of old-fashioned.
That's how they did. That's how the Vikings did it.
American old-fashioned. How about that?
I want a Norse funeral. Actually, that's when you bury an entire ship, I think.
Whatever the most popular way of sending you off is in the history of America, I'll go with that, and I'm going to roll the dice that's burial.
I'm gonna say that I'd like you to figure out a way to turn my death mask into an NFT. I'm gonna leave you two guys with that, assuming at least one of you outlives me. And then by one of you, I mean Mick. I mean it's gonna be Mick for sure. Yeah, I want to be cremated, and then I want my ashes to be turned into something. I don't know what. Maybe it's something ghoulish.
You know, it should be turning into one of those little figurines that you guys got all those years ago, right? With you at work, right? What were those things called there? It's on the plaza. The dubs. Yes.
Oh!
Have it turned into a dube, so you're still there. Your ashes make up this dube.
Wow.
It's not bad.
I've still got a couple business cards from them. I need to reach out.
I walk by them every now and then. I'm like, oh, that would be nice to get a dube. Then I keep going.
Yeah, they're great. They're very cool. I don't remember.
They're really lifelike, very detailed, and look a lot like you.
Here's
did you get one?
I did.
No,
because I remember Beards has the one with his computer.
Yes,
right?
yeah. I've got my arms out so I can hold things with my little guy. But I actually went back and looked at it because I was looking for a bunch of pins and buttons and stuff that I used to have on a jacket, but I couldn't. I took a bunch of them off of that jacket, and I couldn't find them. I thought, you know what? When was the last time I had these? Well, I think I had them on that jacket. So I went and I grabbed my dube, and I was able to look at it and go, oh, yeah, that button and that button and that button I cannot find right now. So they are somewhere else, but they were on this jacket at least last time, at least when I got the dube made.
Yep.
That is how realistic they are. They are not a sponsor of this segment currently, but I'd love it if they wanted to be.
Could be.
I feel like I had something else that I wanted to follow up on there, but I can't remember what it was, which makes sense. Do you want to, I've got two things I wanted to ask you about specifically today here, Mick.
Yeah.
One is football adjacent, and one of them is completely nonsensical.
Like the previous 37 minutes.
Exactly. Do you want the off-speed pitch now or at the end?
At the end. Let's get to football and then wrap it up like we opened it up.
Football for us is the off-speed pitch, but I understand what you meant.
I get it, yes.
We're a knuckleballing show.
Yes.
So here's a fastball
right down the middle.
Are you ready to proclaim yourself a fellow lifelong Tampa Bay Bandits fan?
Absolutely. Sign me up.
It is the Todd Haley experience.
I can't wait because Florida, we all know you get weird down there. Yep. And Chrissy Haley is down there, and she got weird in Kansas City. She got weird in Pittsburgh. Oh, yeah. Sign me up for some Chrissy Haley stories coming out of Florida. It's going to be Florida woman, ... Okay? Sign me up. She had the rodent, the gigantic 6-inch rodent in her McDonald's that she sued him over, okay? And then she had the deal with the school here in town that she was going to sue them. And then there's all the rumors about their social gatherings, Todd and Chrissy, over the years, and how many cul-de-sacs they might live in.
You're breaking a lot of news to me.
Seriously?
Yes.
You remember that stuff?
No, well, I wasn't really around for that. I was a baby boy.
She was in Pittsburgh with the McDonald's rat in the salad.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Is there a picture? She definitely posted a picture of it, right? You got to.
I don't think so. There's a lot of stories on it, but we read them last night. One of them was their lawyer said about the lawsuit, the family just needs closure.
They just really need some closure to move on with their life.
Now tell me about the social gatherings.
I'll tell you all about them off air.
Okay.
Rumors.
How often did you attend?
Oh, I never got invited.
Wow.
Put in the application, but resume just wasn't deep enough at that time.
Not quite there.
No.
If you had been sports director at the time,
true story.
You got it.
Yep.
Like if you moved to Tampa, or just visit, and you put in that application, you're getting it.
There's a joke about a 6-inch rodent there somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here from the DallasObserver.com. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, actually. DallasObserver.com. McRat gets McSettled.
Nice.
Just got off the phone with attorney for Chrissy Haley, wife of former Dallas Cowboys assistant coach Todd Haley, who in 2006 found a rat in her South Lake McDonald's salad.
Okay, so that was Dallas, not Pittsburgh. Oh, she got into a fight. Todd and her got into a fight with other people at a bar at like a kind of a seedy bar. That was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. That was also when
not seedy, but
he kept falling downstairs in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I still to this day believe
Yes.
that Big Ben had a guy who would push Todd Haley
Yes.
downstairs.
And remember him in Cleveland when they were on Hard Knocks?
Yep.
And with that coaching staff, he was actually the sane one.
Yep.
He came across as the guy that was the most reasoned.
He seemed smart. You were like, wait a second, is Todd Haley is the smart guy in the room?
If you get a salad from McDonald's like 100 times, don't you expect to get at least one rat?
I would think so. Well, they didn't, in the story, they didn't know about the rat till they brought it home, and their quote-unquote live-in babysitter found it.
Oh.
I'm like,
I'm gagging for 7 reasons.
not all she's doing.
No. I know those McDonald's. I'm sticking on the McDonald's part, actually, which is somehow worse to me than anything else that has been inferred so
Can you
far.
imagine a McDonald's McRat salad with a red beer right now? Wash it down.
I would rather be encountered by the evil spirit Bloody Mary than to have to conceive of all of that. Also, beer is just carbs now, so I got there's a third level of terror for me there. If I drink a beer right now, I'm gonna have to go lay down for a while. Wow, well, the next sort of food topic that I want to bring up next segment's really gonna have a different air to it.
Good.
Rats not on the menu with Mick Shaffer next.
Listen up, Chiefs Kingdom. No one does tailgating and home gating better than the experts at Hy-Vee. At Hy-Vee, you can find the perfect fit from meats to veggies to snacks. You can find it all at one of their 19 metro locations. From the best burgers, brats, and wings to grab-and-go dips and desserts, and even Chiefs apparel for the entire family. Hy-Vee is the perfect teammate for your tailgates and watch parties. At home or in the parking lot, let Hy-Vee enhance your game experience in delicious fashion. Your one-stop shop for all your Chiefs fan needs. It's easy. Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee, the official grocery sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hi, I'm Jordan, president of Digital Lagoon, a web and design agency. This year, I'm proud to be celebrating 25 years in business. Here at Digital Lagoon, we can provide you with a strategic digital marketing strategy. With the implementation of social media, SEO, and online advertising, these programs are proven to improve your website traffic. Let us collaborate with you to structure a plan and cut through the digital noise. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
Westlake Commercial, a division of Westlake Ace Hardware, is your one-stop shop for bulk quantities of ice melt. Westlake Commercial offers organic and non-chloride solutions, pallet quantities, commercial-grade materials, and packaging, plus job site delivery is available. Our dedicated account representatives provide personalized service for all your business needs, so you can focus on what's important, running your business smoothly. To learn more, visit westlakehardware.com and click commercial at the top, or visit your nearest store today.
This is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Robert Brogdon's Olathe Kia, they're so confident in their new vehicles, they're offering a 90-day money-back guarantee with no mileage restriction. From the 2022 Kia Telluride to the 2022 Sportage or Soul, get what you absolutely want or return it if it's not right for you. Plus, all new Kias are backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Drive with confidence in a new Kia from Robert Brogdon. Shop OlatheKia.com or stop by, just a short drive from I-35. Customer must register vehicle. Warranty is limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Hello, Missouri. Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch, and you can contact your local agent for personalized assistance.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
Sunday, playoff berths are on the line with an NFL tripleheader to wrap up the regular season on Sports Radio 810 WHB. First up, it's Big Ben's final outing as they face the Ravens at noon. Then at 3:25, Seattle will take on the Cardinals with playoff positioning on the line for Arizona. And at 7 o'clock, the Chargers and Raiders meet with the winner going on and the loser going home in the AFC West Showdown on Sunday Night Football to wrap up the regular season. It's all right here on your home for the National Football League and Super Bowl 56, Sports Radio 810 WHB.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Mick Shaffer, not a simp. Next!
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Closing out the week with the one and only Mick Shaffer, KSHB 41. Back for our Friday closer hour. Mick, I told you I had one more thing I wanted to ask you about today.
I love how the quote-unquote sports question was about Todd Haley taking over a USFL team, and we didn't talk anything about him or his team. It was all about his wife.
You said that you picked the Chiefs to win against the Broncos this weekend?
I did. There we go.
Tomorrow.
Sports!
To be fair, we don't know about the Bandits team yet.
Bing
We're
bong.
still waiting to see we don't even know who the quarterback is.
It's the second time today that someone has said bing bong to me, and both times it has just really tickled me. We occasionally will go into power rankings whenever we have our president of power rankings, the esteemed Tucker D. Franklin, on. We did that last night in our last hour. And whenever we do one, I usually think there's at least one of these I need Mick's opinion on. And one we did was simply top 5 appetizers. 5-1. I feel like you won't even need much time to think about it. I'm guessing you're probably ready. Getting the pen and paper out. Mick Shaffer's top 5 appetizers. If you need a second, I can tell you my list. I can let you think.
Give me your
about it.
list. I got like 3.
Well, I'm not going to give you an order. I don't want to take the pull that way. And Rudy, anything you remember that you want to add from your list? We've got buffalo wings. We had a lot of mozzarella sticks, fried cheese sort of things. Jalapeno poppers made my list.
Chips and salsa or any kind
Lots
of dip,
of chips
really.
and dip. And I think I may have bent the rules on that one. Also, for me, nachos as an appetizer, big fan of. We had conversations about tater tots and French fries.
Does that count?
Onion rings. So here's
I think like loaded tater tots. count,
Well,
right?
here's what I would say.
I don't know if just tater tots.
Here are the margins. It's got to be something that you are ordering for at least you and one other person, I think. But definitely you're ordering before the full meal. If it comes out with the meal, it doesn't count for this. This is a pre-meal actual appetizer.
Right. Number 1, do you want to go 5-1?
5-1. 5-1.
I'm not a huge nachos fan, so that's going to be my 5th.
Okay. That was number 1 for me. I love
eat
nachos.
them. Right, they're good. Right, it's chips. Right, meat, cheese, whatever. I'll go wings next as 4. I'm gonna go if I can do it.
Bone
Loaded
in wings.
I'm a bone out. Sorry,
that's all right. That's all right.
I'm not a real man.
I'm a bone out guy.
Bone
too.
out.
No shame in that.
3, if I can do it, I'll do loaded tots. I can eat tots till my arms fell off.
Yep.
I think it's different because like loaded tots, you don't get loaded tots as your side. You get it as an appetizer.
Yep. I'm going to separate these 2. I don't care about the rules, but 2 is going to be cheese curds.
Ooh.
That's so good.
Cheese curds are great.
And number 1, with the bullet, they're like the New York Yankees, right? It's mozzarella cheese sticks.
Wow.
My number 1 was pepper jack cheese cubes. So cheese curds.
Sure, Chiefs.
Pepper jack, right? Like
yeah.
Just fried
number
cheese
1
is
cheese. I mean, it's the first thing any restaurant I go into, whether they serve them or not, the first thing I think of is like, cheese sticks, maybe.
Really crush some cheese. Where are you at on non-fried, on like cheese sticks out of the fridge? Like the string cheeses?
No, give me a break. Shut up. Stupid. Oh, I want hard cheese with no breading, and it's cold. God, what is wrong with you?
Rudy,
are you 6? Well,
Rudy,
you kind of are, yeah.
Rudy, I have a question real quick for you. How many cheese sticks have you eaten today, would you say?
Oh, is that your deal?
No, I'm just curious. And what about you, Mick? How many cheese sticks have you eaten today?
0.
All right, so this room has eaten 2 cheese sticks today. And it's not important who ate them. They've got no carbs, Mick. I know my entire life is now about, fun diabetes jokes. But you can eat a cheese stick, and it's not exactly the same.
I want it fat and batter. And
I just can't make them like that on the way. I literally ate one driving to work today.
Peeled it off, ate it slow.
So here's the thing, I just ate it like a stick, and then we talked about this last
I
night.
gotta peel them off. I like thinly sliced.
Next time, I'll bring you a cheese stick next week.
I mean, I'll eat them.
I might have one in the fridge right now. I might have a third one on me. I do actually. Bite into it like a mozzarella stick and just see how that feels. Have a red beer, wash it down.
Okay.
A rat
I'll bring in the
salad,
beer. You bring in the cheese sticks next time.
and we'll meet at Todd Haley's house.
I love it.
All right, Mick. Thank you for being here. It's been wonderful to have you back. You feel free at this point, I suppose, to end the show to say goodbye.
Michelle, it's been so long. I mean, I've been saying bye to you quite a bit, but not on the radio. So this is different as far as Josh knows. Bye, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Steve Hedgepath with Quad Power Products. We know that time is money, and we pride ourselves in getting our customers back up and running quickly. At Quad Power Products, we can duplicate your hydraulic hose assemblies while you wait, in most cases getting you back out the door in 15 minutes or less. We have an excellent inventory of hydraulic hose